now for the Snap Report with...
What up, sports fans? What up, though? It is the Shop Report, and I am Double J. And of course, none other than my co-host to my right, your left, none other than D Gully from the CO Lum Bus. What's happening?
Everything's happening, man. I just want to say thanks. Welcome. Thanks. We right in the middle of it. We're a little started a little bit behind, but hey, we're a little bit more relaxed here than when Barbershop is with us. So get right to it though. Yeah, so I see the ticket right now. If you don't know, I mean, if you're not a pro wrestling fan, that's fine. It's okay. But right now, John Cena's last match is going on. So what we're doing is we're taking a look and we're going to let you know what we see as we see it in our opinions live. You noticed it first before I did. Tell me about that pop that John Cena got.
It didn't matter what volume you had it set on, you could feel it.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. And, truthfully, it's to see this level of appreciation, I think is obviously warranted first and foremost. But, sometimes, there's always some outlier, right?
Right.
There's always somebody, and we just got a 5-knuckle shuffle. But just that pop, to me, is one that will stand out for a while.
Okay, yeah. And you know what what we didn't get? Typically, even during his rise, we would get the whole "Let's go Cena." Cena sucks, right? We got none of that tonight, which I was surprised that we didn't get any of it, because I would think just for the same reason that when Kurt Angle was on his reunion tour, he got the whole "you suck" chant when and it was out of admiration, because that's what they used to do during his original run. So the fact that we didn't get that tonight was equally as respectful as it would have been if we would have got it, just because people are because of the nostalgia, right?
So let me take it that step further then.
Yep.
Gunther
has I was just about to ask, but go ahead.
Is that the right or wrong opponent tonight?
It's the right opponent based on who's on the roster. It's the wrong opponent if there was a realistic means to bring Adam Copeland. If it was realistic, if it realistically could have been done, if it could have been like hey, look, Paul and Tony, they had this handshake agreement, just like I've been watching the Godfather trilogy over the last week. If you bring the families together and they don't have to like each other, but like, listen, this moment is as big as it is. This is what it is. It means no less. It means no more than tonight. But for this night, go ahead. Let's have them. Then I would have appreciated that. Or if you could have had Brock one last time and him actually get the job over Brock, because Brock smashed him and it went for nothing, because that Brock doing a squash match with Cena in his reunion tour and then it not being revisited, I think is a little bit disappointing. But if you're gonna have anybody as your last opponent, it would be the guy who I think he seems to be like the Undertaker of this locker room. If based off of presentation, based off of what I see, he seems like to be the leader. He seems to be the guy that the roster ultimately has an ultimate respect for. I know the climate is different. I trust the climate to be different than it was in the Attitude Era and beyond. But he's He's literally and figuratively of large enough stature to command a type of respect. And I think they want to do things with Gunther that Gunther will end up having a retirement match sometime in the next 10 years or 15 years because he's going to be that significant of a presence for the company. So that's why I think Gunther is the last guy tonight.
So is it fair to say that you think the company is positioning Gunther in this particular match as a passing of the torch moment?
Yeah. I mean, look, it took a long time for me to get here. And I said that, right? Even I think we were talking about like a year and a half ago now. I didn't see it at first. I didn't see it. But there's been a consistency to Gunther. And you know what? He seemed like he's capable of holding. Oh man, watch this. Are we getting a Cena Slam on the Spanish? Yes, we are. Whoa. Cena Slam on the Spanish announce table. I mean, clean too. Clean.
Oof, he didn't have much margin for error right
No, he didn't. He did, but
you almost again, it's a live react, right? So
yeah.
He almost kind of went in damage control a little bit there, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because man, it looked like Gunther's head was gonna
right
close to that outer edge there, that thing.
Right.
Holy smokes, man. Is this it?
No, this is not it. Absolutely.
So the rumor was that John was going to have as much time as he wanted, right? We're approaching 9:56 Eastern time. So again, it should be a hard stop at 11.
Right.
Or, I'm sorry, 10, not 11.
Now, are we on ESPN for this? Or is this on Peacock?
Peacock.
Gotcha. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine he has as much time as he wants. He's not on network TV.
Yeah, but we've seen other hard stops. At least with and this is remember there was a show that we had where
on PLEs.
No.
This
is not a PLE.
Bro, it's on Peacock. It ain't on NBC.
Yeah, but by definition, like by standard criteria, I mean, I get how the match itself could be defined, fits that criteria, but generally speaking, Saturday night's main event is not a PLE.
All right. Fair. So they got 3 minutes for this to end. This is what you're saying.
That's right.
All right.
Now, I agree with you. I've seen them run long, but I've also seen the hard stops.
Yeah. And what are we getting here? Do we have one more?
At least.
You got one more? One more 5-knuckle shuffle or one more Cena Slam? And where's the STFU at, though? Uh-oh, he's caught panning to the crowd. Does he got one more? Do you think Gunther's the right call for the final opponent? Or who would you have liked to have been?
So, what I wanted to see, to your point with, the...
Okay. Oh, wow. So he ran for it?
Thought.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Wow.
That feels like true heel. Like, this feels... Okay, do you remember how you could steal someone's... in one of the early WWE games or WCW games, you could essentially
steal a finisher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That felt like that.
Yes, it did. He went for it. And Gunther sprang right up with a boot to the face, German suplex, following into a power bomb. And you know what? The sequence of those moves, they all made sense, even for a big guy. Oh, Cena Slam off the second rope. Yes, he got it. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, and he kicks out.
We're gonna go into OT here. There's no way this is done in 2 minutes.
No, ain't no way possible. That was, but I will say, man, You know, the only thing I don't really like about Cena's retirement,
What's that?
his haircut.
What do you want him to do?
Man, it look Fred Flintstone-ish, man. It does, bro.
He's in one of those weird spots, right? You can tell.
Yeah.
It's like either I grow it out, as he's done,
Yeah.
or I go bald. And I think he tried doing something in the middle there prior to his return, and it was like, no.
Yeah. Man, he could have went there, but it's all right, man. It's all right. Who am I to judge, bro? I got stuff to do with mine. I'm growing my locks out, man, and
I got a hat on for a reason.
Yeah.
What time it is?
I'm too harsh on him.
Right.
I'm too harsh on him. But yeah, overall though, I think Gunther is as great a choice. This, as you stated, this probably was a signal that Gunther is the next guy, because for what it's worth, reverses the
dude again.
Whoa!
If he loses, can he lose this match?
Should he lose this match? Yes, Cena can absolutely lose this match. My. 1, 2, kicks out. He won't lose it, but Cena certainly can lose this match. And what it should show is that Gunther is, in fact, from everybody there, Gunther is, in fact, the next guy.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, right? To me, in ring, the psychology of this, right? Because there's Matt Miner sticking out again. How does Gunther's physical and method here challenge Cena in particular differently than, say, some of the folks he's gone against in the past?
Restate, please.
Man. Basically, how's Gunther's style suit this match differently than people that Cena's gone against in the past? Or is it because he's so similar to a combination of others?
Yeah, Gunther has, all right, so what I didn't understand about Gunther, what I didn't like about Gunther is that Gunther's a simple wrestler. And for me, I should have appreciated that more, because I have to recognize some things, and I'm gonna talk about it in the reels sometime pretty soon. The fact that there was some reason why I always watched a match when I was a kid where Greg the Hammer Valentine was wrestling. As a kid, I watched early Dustin Rhodes matches. As a kid, I watched Dino Bravo. Understand, wow. I thought they were boring. Even it was weird, like as a 6-year-old, I thought they were boring, but I watched every one of their matches because there was an appeal to actual wrestling that I liked, even though I was drawn more into the characters, right? What's going on, Screen? Thanks for joining us out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Gunther is that. He's a simple wrestler, but his psychology, to your point, his psychology, what he does makes a lot of sense. He can be vulnerable, but he's resilient, right? And now his resilience isn't theatrical like the Undertaker's is, or like Kane's is, but his resilience is, to me, he reminds me of, and this is why I hate things the way they went, but like Alberto Del Rio was resilient like that, man. Right? He always had one in the chamber. No matter what happened to him, no matter how beat up he was, he had one in the chamber, and that one in the chamber could reset the table for him. Gunther is that. How big of a guy is Gunther that he's doing a piggyback sleeper hold, right? Tell you how agile Gunther is, but he's a simple wrestler though. You know what I mean? Simple. He doesn't have to, he's not doing a whole lot. Like, now as I answer your question, I understand, like, this is a much different match than the one that Cena had with AJ Styles. Equally as compelling back and forth. You know what I'm saying? A big boot to the face, German suplex, power bomb, that should be enough to do it, right? But it's not. Now, that would have been a Styles clash, a second rope springboard, knee, you know what I'm saying? Some type of, you look at AJ Styles' moveset, look at his playbook, right? it played out much differently. But here we go. Cena slam, got him. Bam. This might just be it.
I think that's it.
One center of the ring. No. Again.
Hey, and I think that's Gibby.
Right back. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. That these things that
Holy
I appreciate.
smokes.
Gunther, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, Gibby, I believe, definitely shoot the question if you got it. So it gives me a little bit of time too. But as soon as we're done with John Cena, we're transitioning over to definitely the fantasy stuff as well before the night's done. Gully, with that being said, is this more about Cena the wrestler or Cena the icon?
Cena the icon. Cena the icon.
I love it.
Yeah. Cena the icon. Cena the icon. Because no matter what happens here, his legacy is complete. So as an icon, I want to give you one last glimpse at what it is watched for 23 years and what you loved or what you hated. He's not bringing anything new. You know, we're not seeing something new for the first time. If anything, we're seeing something new from Gunther. To do a piggyback on a sleeper hold. That tell you something. So, oh man, got him back down again. Okay. In the center of the ring.
All right, ready for this?
Yeah.
Gunther, final boss, next legend, or both?
And he should be both. He should be both.
Did he just tap?
No.
Oh my God.
Yes, he did.
This feels like the streak.
Yes, he
Irish
did.
Halliburton.
Yes, he did.
Oh my God.
No.
Boy, somebody needs to take my blood pressure.
No. He tapped. Gunther is that guy. He tapped. Listen, how silent is the crowd?
I don't even know if I have the audio on. I can't tell.
Cena tapped? Oh no. Did he fall asleep? There's a difference.
He tapped.
No, he didn't. He tapped?
I swear. Now I'm questioning my own eyes.
Yo. He did listen. Okay, so listen. All right, bam. He was out. Cena slam. Okay, got him. Pop. Now I said that I just got through saying the Undertaker stuff. And he sprung right up. So made a fool out of me in real time. Put him right back in that sleeper. No, he didn't tap. It was. He dropped it. He dropped it. He's fighting out of the sleeper. Boom. Several bevy of elbows. Got him back down. Sleeper. He tapped. Mike Tyson's last professional fight. He tapped.
He's always a company man. He was always a company man. I can't do this. I need a commercial break. I feel like Ruby Rod.
No, we can't go to commercial. No, we gotta see this. No. Cena tapped. Cena tapped. He tapped.
Can you be the greatest of all time and lose like this?
He can't undo 17 world title runs. He can't undo the greatness.
This just made Gunther a Hall of Famer.
Yes, it did. Yeah, it made Gunther a Hall of Famer. Yes. Now, here's how you listen. The only way to bring this home, the only way to make this make sense is not to bury Gunther in corporate. Meaning, for me, what I mean by that is you've made the same statement to Gunther that you made for Roman when he beat Undertaker. When he basically erased breaking the streak. Remember, when Roman beat Undertaker at WrestleMania, at that point, how effective was it that Brock Lesnar beat the streak?
I'm watching the embrace here. That's
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. World Heavyweight Champion's coming out. Hold on. CM Punk is in the ring. So is Cody.
This is just an embrace amongst champions, right? I mean,
yeah, but they have their belts at their wayside. And Cody, what is this?
I know I need audio.
What is this? Oh, they're placing the belts on them. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Is this a curtain call to you?
Of course it is. It's certainly a curtain call. I don't like it. He shouldn't have tapped. He should have just went to sleep. Gunther should have taken it from him. He should have went to sleep.
But this is my problem. I told you with John as a whole, he's always been a company guy. He always did something. This is now to your point about Adam Copeland and his per Cody Rhodes' quote that I'm paraphrasing, elevating other people or lack thereof. We can never say that about John Cena now.
What? Can never say what?
That he didn't elevate someone.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. That he did, yeah. Right. Remember, he gave Kevin Owens that shot. Remember? Kevin Owens.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he was there front row, right?
Yes, he was. He was there front row. They let him hold the titles one last time. I'm total.
Is he really done? What do you? Okay, I know it's raw and it's in the moment. That's the whole point of this. Are you content? Are you satisfied, or is this? Do you feel like something's wrong?
The only thing that was wrong is that he tapped.
What difference does it make?
It makes a big difference, man. Listen, it makes a big difference. All right, let me ask you a question. Do we get Austin 316 if he taps to Bret Hart?
No, but we don't get Austin 316. Doesn't cut that promo either.
Okay, so does Austin become the guy he became?
Wait a minute. Don't get me started on Austin, because I told you if we don't get the curtain call like we're getting right now,
regardless, we got that. That's not what we act. That's not what we said.
That was supposed to be Hunter. Hunter's role. That was completely Hunter's role, and that's why he played third fiddle in that entire.
Okay, that's fine. That's not what I asked you. I asked you about this moment here, right? Mm-hmm. I asked you about this moment here, or I compared this moment to WrestleMania 13. If Austin is bleeding, all right. So we've got color. He's got him bleeding. Bret Hart's got him in the sharpshooter, and he's bleeding profusely like he was. If everything like that happens, every moment leading up to that match happens, and Austin taps, do we get the same thing? Do we get the same lightning rod that we got from that moment on if he tapped? I certainly think we don't. By that same logic, Gunther should not have tapped at all. He shouldn't have tapped. He should have taken it from him. He should have been put to sleep.
But this is where I disagree, because Gunther didn't just beat John Cena, he broke him. And that is the strongest way, Gully, to put someone over without damaging the legend itself.
No, it's not.
100%, dude.
No, it's not.
It's not only that, it's the ultimate passing of the torch, which is what I was talking about.
Go ahead. Go to Twitter right now. Let's go to X. Let's go to Instagram. Let's go anywhere.
We'll go live on this show right now. If we want you to be seen, hashtag us at the Shop Report. And of course, John Cena, but we'll do that as well. So here we go. I'm going to go to X and
yeah.
Let's see. Triple H. Great.
Yeah,
John Cena.
I get all of the career retrospective, bro. He shouldn't have tapped. This was like Mike Tyson. Well, you know, in that case, he couldn't get up, right? When he got knocked down, he couldn't get up, I think. Versus not Daryl Williams, but versus Kevin McBride. I don't think Mike Tyson could get up, so he just retired on the stool.
People are upset with Triple H.
Yeah, I get that. How would you book him to tap?
Yeah, so I'm going to read from Can't Guard ZB. We really let this man control John Cena farewell tour, and of course, it's showing Hunter pedigreeing John Cena.
Yeah, we did. We let him control it.
And a lot of people feel like WWE and TKO did this man wrong with his retirement run. That is from Phenom.
Okay.
So, again, hashtag us if you want us to read yours live as well. One of the greatest careers ever. Never give up. Thank you, John Cena. It's from JM. Trying to refresh here and get you guys in. Ooh, this one is from Iron.
Where we at? We're on
Twitter with it right now. Yeah, this is gonna blow my brains out in front of Triple H with a John Cena shirt on, so he never forgets this BS. Holy smokes, what a take!
Yeah,
that is for a guy I'm gonna abbreviate as IC, otherwise known as the different color Chipper Jones. He calls himself.
Okay.
And
I get it.
All right, this one's from Vincent at WWE. Triple H and the creative team shameful. You don't have John Cena lose his last match. You don't need a shock factor here. You deserve to be booed. You effed up.
Wow.
And wow. Aura says, how are they going to make John Cena perform in his retirement? Thanks, Triple H, for killing wrestling. Boy, well, tell me how you really feel on a Saturday night, huh?
Him losing is not the problem at all. Him losing to Gunther is not the problem at all. Him tapping the Gunther is everything the problem with it. It shows he's the company man or whatever you want to feel like. He shouldn't have tapped. Gunther should have taken it from him. And if Gunther
no, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you right there because this protects the legacy better.
How?
Remember, he tapped? It reinforces Cena's character.
How? Did he tap? When did Cena ever gave up?
He fought until there was no other option. Right? He quit
that's
was
not
unavoidable.
Never give up mean. No,
and
man, that's not.
Most importantly, submission
never give
losses
up except for Gunther.
Better.
I guarantee you, never give up except for Gunther. Shirts sell.
No, submission losses age better than knockouts for legends. True or false?
You still have not even bothered to entertain what Stone Cold Steve Austin's legacy would have been if he tapped at WrestleMania 13. You ain't even answered it. You wanted to talk about it should have never been because Triple H should have never been in the curtain call. Fine and well, what we have is a moment where you're talking about breaking a guy. You make or break a guy. When have you ever made a guy by tapping?
It would be slightly less mythic if I'm going to answer your actual question.
All right. Right. And in the same moment.
Because he went out to your point, right? You're suggesting that by that not occurring, okay?
Right.
It cements Austin as unbreakable.
Right.
But when was John Cena supposed to be unbreakable?
All right, tell me this. So is this the case that this is his first submission loss?
No, it can't be.
Well, you tell me. Is this Cena's first submission loss? How many times has Cena been submitted?
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle submitted him?
He was there. He was there today.
What match did Kurt Angle submit John Cena?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kurt Angle did in 2002, right?
According to Sports Kita, John Cena was submitted 16 times.
Until today, which is number 17. There you go. Oh, look at the symbolism in that, bro.
He 17-time champion, 17 times submitted.
There's your answer.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me make sure.
Or Rico.
16 matches. According to see, the question that was terrible. No, according to this is where AI don't understand context. John Cena has been submitted in a total of 16 matches at WrestleMania, meaning that John Cena was in 16 WrestleMania matches. That's not what I asked. How many times has John Cena been submitted?
I'm looking for your answer right here as well. Double checking some info. I got to see who is Carolina playing. Oh, the Saints.
How many times has Cena lost by submission? All right. You're right. I guess Chris Jericho.
You hear that, folks?
And Kurt Angle twice. The last time was in 2003 to Chris Benoit.
No, he got submitted by Gunther. I'm not talking about tonight.
Shut up. Okay, we're not talking about that one. We're not.
Wow. Well, it got the pop, all right. That's for sure. Givey, quickly here, the Green Bay Packers are 21st in the league against the running back position, 89.1 rush yards per game, so about 3.9 yards per carry. Only have given up 7 7 touchdowns to the position.
So that's Givey who screened 3D 1 TS?
I think so.
You keep calling him Givey. I don't know. It's been a minute.
It could be. All right. All right. So I'll go scream edits because that's what the 3 is meant to be.
You see, I spelled it out. Yeah, I'm old. Yeah.
Man.
Oh, that is Givey. Right. Yeah, I'm old.
Okay, see, thank you.
3D 1 TS. How did you know it was him?
I just assumed.
Man, I spelled it out.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Spelled it out. 3D1.
And then as far as the Saints go, number 5 in the league, so 112 yards per game, rush yards per game, 4.2 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns. So I'm not surprised. I believe in you.
Right, but now he's calling on right. Now he's calling on the council.
You're right.
Hey man, you got real far without us this year, Givey. We haven't been on as much. So maybe our wisdom helped you going into this year, where we had to leave our Padawans to figure it out for themselves.
Absolutely. And so with that being said, we'll let Gully keep looking this up and we'll take a long break.
It's K Cunningham and you watching the Shop Report.
I'm Homie Diallo and you watching the Shop Report.
My name's Chris Murray and you're watching the Shop Report.
Oh, you're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report.
It's Max McKee, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Edwards from Murphy Stadium and you're watching the Shock Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Howard Johnson. You're watching the Shop Report.
Hi, I'm Heath Bell from the New York Mets, and you're listening to the Shop Report podcast. Yeah!
Hey, I'm Josh Tolley, former catcher of the New York Mets, and you're watching the Shop Report.
This is Edgardo Alfonso for the Mets, and you're listening to Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doc Gooden, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hello, this is Mike Hampton, and you're watching Shop Report.
It's K Cunningham, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hey, C.O. Moore, tune in live to the Shop Report, man. Checking in with the Chicago Bears. You heard it here first.
This is Herman R.V., former NFL offensive lineman with the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. And you're listening to the Shop Report.
This is Josh Cribbs, 3-time NFL Pro Bowler, all-decade return specialist. You're listening to the Shop Report.
Cleo Miller, former Cleveland Browns, and you're listening to the Shop Report.
Hi, this is Dick Ambrose. You're listening to the Shop Report, and go Brown.
Hey, this is the top dog, Hanford Dixon. Listen to the Shop Report.
This is Ernest Biner, and you are listening to the Shop Report.
Hey everybody, Jimmy Haas from Cleveland Browns, and I can tell you my favorite podcast is the Shop Report.
That's right. That's right. We are back. That's right. You heard it here first. We are the favorite. Like the Ohio State, we are the favorite. Dot the I.
Man, right? Oh, wait, the favorite. Okay,
I ain't gonna say it no more.
You gonna say it no more? All three of y'all.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, John Cena. John Cena.
Well, hold on. We got to get back to Give You.
All right, we'll get
Or
back.
Scream 3D1 TS. All right, Scream. Would you play RJ Harvey versus the Packers defense or Rico? I don't like Rico because Chuba is coming back into play. I have them both. I mean, if you know. Hold on. Let's see.
All right, let's take a look here. Perfect. Okay, so here's what I have on that specific game. Oh my gosh! So not only is Josh Jacobs is a legit game time decision, but Emmanuel Wilson, his backup, is sick. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, it's the 4 o'clock window, which definitely is
Got some time.
beneficial. Yeah. Well, he's asking specifically more so about
whether he should play Rico or not.
Yeah. Let's see. Green Bay ranks top 5 in pressure rate, and that's more of a Bo Nix thing.
Right.
Zone heavy. RJ Harvey over the last 2 weeks, RB2 and RB4 in PPR formats. He's gotten there thanks to touchdowns, but this is a tough matchup to hope for multiple scores. So the positive is that he's seeing great workload in terms of touches, targets, and work inside the red zone, which is kind of what I was leaning on a little bit. Green Bay ranks 15th, as I discussed a little earlier, in run defense grade, and 16th in rush. But number 1 in Pro Football Focus's tackling grade. So volume-driven matchup, but maybe kind of tempered the expectations. It depends kind of really what you need from him. And then I'll kind of move quickly to.
Hey, so if Harvey gets a kickoff return touchdown.
Yeah.
Are them points going to would Give You get those?
Yeah. Both so for those that have defense special teams, they would get it, but then also the player specific that scored. So someone that I've exploited my league, I noticed does that. So there's a guy on Tennessee, last name is DK, spelled D-I-K-E, but
Dyke. That's his name, man. Just like the guy that played college, Kaniga. That's their name, man.
Yeah, at Eastern, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his name. His name is Dyke, right? Is it Dyke?
I thought it was DK.
Well, I'm saying Dyke. That's his
like
name.
Kofi. Remember the basketball player Kofi Coburn, but his name was spelled C-O-C-K Burn.
Okay, if I'm saying it, I'm firmly on the side of pronouncing the man's name as Dyke. If that's his name. If it's DK, then you can edit this, but I'm not trying to drive at that angle. I ain't even trying to get nothing over. I think his name is pronounced. Oh, man, come on, Givey. I'm trying to help you out.
Givey, I was supposed to be in Arizona this weekend, too. Unfortunately, MLS did not clear my kid.
What's the guy's name you talking about?
Kofi Coburn?
No, not him.
Oh.
DK.
Yeah. I do not know how to.
What team you said?
Tennessee Titans. He's a wide receiver. Also does punt kick return duty. So what I glitch in my league is that they count the kick return yards. So this dude's projected like 4 every game. He's starting to get more receiving attempts because everybody's hurt. And then he's getting all the punt yards too. Cheat code.
Yeah, hold on. We're going to find out what's this man's name. All right. How you pronounce his name?
Are you struggling with this still?
No, I'm going to find out because I'm going to go and find out where you pronounce his name.
All right, so just so everybody knows who we're talking about here.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. DK. Yeah, it is DK. My bad, bro. I really didn't mean nothing by it. I didn't know. I'm just looking at the phonetic, the English pronunciation respelling.
Brutal.
Chimere DK. Sorry, bro. And his birthday's tomorrow. How about that? Happy birthday.
You know what? There's your prop for the day. He scores tomorrow.
Yep, there you go. His birthday's tomorrow. Mr. DK.
Go with the birthday boy. All right, so he's got Ted McMillan. I don't know how I'm 13-1. Now my tight end. Yeah, but wait a minute. Now Phillip Rivers and tight ends were, he had a Hall of Fame tight end in Antonio Gates. Yes, sir. So it's not all doom and gloom.
Right.
And he could be in for a big one, especially PPR format, right? Just given the fact that we have no idea. Again, the closest that everybody has said is that, well, his high school team that he coached ran the same offense as the Colts.
Okay. What does that mean?
I guess that he knows the plays.
That's the organization he was last with. I don't think much has changed. How long ago was it since he's been there?
It was like 5 years.
Oh, it really has been 5 seasons. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was right. He was Hall of Fame eligible this year until this.
Yeah. Now that he's on an active roster, he's got to wait a handful of years again.
Yeah, wait 5 more years.
Wow. So, okay. Hopefully. Now, Ted McMillan, on the other hand. All right, let's find.
Hey, didn't he guide them to the playoffs?
Yes, he did. And they lost to Buffalo. I remember that game. Where is Carolina? It's tomorrow, 4:25. What is going on? That is wild. I do not see it. Here we go. Looking at my start sit. Ted McMillan, I would put in group 2 with Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Pickens, Devontae Adams, Olave, and Rashee Rice. Who's the alternative? I'm not sure if you really wanted to evaluate going a different direction there. Here we go. McMillan, I have wide receiver 17.
Okay.
Let's just see. Against the Saints, right? And then I got defense versus wide receivers. Oh, man, New Orleans is terrible versus wide receiver. 13 touchdowns given up, 28th in the league overall. Yeah, dude, Shakir and me are done. No way. I cannot recommend that guy. He shows up when I write him off. And then anytime that I say, it's like Joe Hendry, say his name and he disappears. I don't believe in Shakir. Like you banging your head against the wall instead. Yeah, so absolutely not. You're not going to bench Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Nope. Especially with the resident Bengal fan here. Now that we know. now that is formally out and about. in the universe here.
What? That I'm a Bengals fan?
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, man! You know, you and Barbershop get to like a team each week, but if I co-sign, now I'm circle the wagons. Now I'm a Bengals fan. Listen.
Oh man, yes, please do, please. I know you stayed at that that place across the river. You didn't go all the way to Florence. You just what is that, an Embassy Seat? No, it's a Radisson. It's a Radisson on the river.
It's a Radisson on the river. Yeah. Yeah.
Right there, Covington, Kentucky, folks. There you go. Additionally, so when did the fandom begin? I told you I hung out with Ocho Cinco. I have a signed jersey down there framed.
What did I say? What did I say that now I'm a bandwagon guy? What did I give you? Hold on, let's see. What give
when
you
Joe Flacco was traded, you made it very clear.
Oh, I said they were gonna go to the playoffs. Yep.
Yes.
I did. I did say that. I did say that.
That is not something that any just casual fan says.
I did say that. I did say that. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did say that. Yeah. I did say that. Okay.
Golly, who you got?
In the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
I think the team out the AFC and the NFC, I think those are two teams that end up in the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah. I think, my track record is saying if I pick a team, I pick a team out of the AFC and pick a team out of the NFC, I think you can bet on that going to the Super Bowl. Givey, a team out of the AFC and a team out of the NFC. Here we go.
He's terrible. I'll do a little bit better than that.
Cool. Go ahead. Who you got? Yeah.
Barbershop Jay's going to say the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll give his NFC pick. And oof. I don't believe in the Patriots this year. I don't. I think comes out somebody that's out of the. We're going to stay with the West here.
Why couldn't this be Buffalo's year?
It really could be. I just don't think their run defense is good enough, man.
Okay.
That's the honest answer. That's why. I think Josh Allen would be the league MVP, in my opinion, if he were to pull that off. Because unlike the other years, right, I feel like they've regressed, right? You've had issues with the receiving core. Givey just talked about it.
Okay. Well, hold on. All right. So looking at right now, the current playoff picture right now. Damn, the Steelers are leading the AFC North. Yeah. The Chargers are a wild card out west. Super Bowl pick this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with
completely agree. Sam Darnold, on the other hand, has just been really he needs to be a little bit more consistent for me, fantasy-wise. I know you guys have won in spite of that, but I actually think San Francisco.
And the Bills. He's in the Seahawks and the Bills in the Super Bowl.
It's not really that far-fetched.
Yes, it is.
Why? Seattle's 10-3, just like the Rams.
Yeah. Oh.
Uh-oh.
You don't like the Eagles. You don't think the Eagles gonna figure it out? You making a lot of noise about the whole AJ Brown and you don't think it's legit for the Eagles to go back to their third Super Bowl in 4 years?
No, I think it's absolutely possible. It's just, look, they're winning games, right? That's the challenge. But now they've started to lose. And this is where equally it's contagious a little bit. Seahawks defense or Texans? Well,
who does Texas have this week?
Let's take a look here. Houston is Arizona? Oh my gosh. That's easy.
Yeah.
Let's go. And then the Seahawks. Oh, against the Colts with Phillip Rivers. Oh, man. But they still have Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
Hawks have 3 losses by 9 points. Givey, I'm going to ask you a tough question. If old man Phillip Rivers walks in there and beats your Hawks, how upset are you going to be, dude?
Right. Right.
Now, remember, as you pointed out, they have a complement. I have Michael Pittman on my team. Fantastic receiver.
Right.
Great year. You pointed out, Givey, that you have Tyler Warren, the tight end, and that someone I brought up MVP, someone that should be in the MVP race is Jonathan Taylor. To me, you know what that sounds like, Gully? It reminds me of the days of Vincent Jackson.
Yep.
Antonio Gates, and LaDainian Tomlinson. That was a fantastic group that only needed mediocre quarterback play, and who better than Phillip Rivers to fill that void?
Right.
Yeah, he's not in the MVP race. Well, that's largely because of, to your point about who he's playing against. I think Gully and I talked about that briefly offline with how the back half of that schedule is playing out. Oh, we got Jay Hang, my bad. High flex 2. Adunze, Isaiah Likely, Waller, and Yoshivas. Half PPR. All right, I'm going to leave this thing up here. Give us just a second. Gully, I'm gonna take a break here on this one to try to find it from right after a word from our sponsors.
Cunningham, and you watching the Shop Report. I'm Harvey Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report.
My name's Chris Murray, and you're watching the Shop Report.
You're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report.
It's Max McKee, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Edwards from Murphy Stadium, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Howard Johnson. You're watching the Shop Report. Hi, I'm Heath Bell from the New York Mets, and you're listening to the Shop Report podcast. Yeah!
Hey, I'm Josh Tolley, former catcher of the New York Mets, and you're watching the Shop Report.
This is Edgardo Alfonso for the Mets, and you're listening to Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doc Gooden, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hello, this is Mike Hampton, and you're watching Shop Report.
This is Kerry Cunningham, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hey, CO Moore, tune in live to the Shop Report, man. Checking in with the Chicago Bears. You heard it here first.
Hey, this is Herman R.V., former NFL offensive lineman with the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. And you're listening to the Shop Report.
This is Josh Cribbs, three-time NFL Pro Bowler, all-decade return specialist. And you're listening to the Shop Report.
Cleo Miller, former Cleveland Browns, and you're listening to the Shop Report.
Hi, this is Dick Ambrose. You're listening to the Shop Report, and go Brown.
Hey, this is the top dog, Hanford Dixon. Listen to the Shop Report.
This is Ernest Biner, and you are listening to the Shop Report.
Hey everybody, Jimmy Has from Cleveland Browns, and I can tell you, my favorite podcast is the Shop Report.
All right, and we are back, and so I got Gully here as well. So
is a Dunze clear? That looks like he was questionable last I checked.
Right, that's what really the killer here. Something I will point out too, as far as likely, the last time they played Cincinnati, they went off, dude. So I'm gonna actually have specifically how well they did. That was 9 catches, 142 yards on 12 targets.
Do you think they wouldn't be game planning for that this time? At Cincinnati this time?
Bro, hang on a second. How good is Cincinnati's defense? They're 29 against the wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati, where are they against the tight end? Oh, and they're number 3. They give up 96 yards per game to the tight end position, 13 yards per reception.
All right, so
and 15 touchdowns.
So
the
listen,
closest team is at 9 touchdowns on the season, which is Washington.
So here's what we need to. So your question is down to who else besides likely? That's really how do we answer this, right?
So Yoshi Voss, the problem with him is because is T. Higgins or anybody missing? Because with Givey, we know Chase is there, right? So we're going to see a discrepancy in terms of overall targets unless T. Higgins is out of the picture, right? So I'm Googling that as we speak. T's gone. Okay. So no T. Higgins. All right. Now we have my attention a little bit instead of ruling him out. And we just talked about that Baltimore's defense. Baltimore's right in the middle of the pack, number 10 overall against the wide receivers. They're giving up about 157 yards per game and 13 touchdowns. So in contrast, the Cowboys, who are the worst, 171 yards per game, 22 touchdowns. So the catch rate is at 59%, so not quite in the green. Basically everything else above 60 would be there. 12, almost 13 yards per catch. So actually not bad, right in the sweet spot. No T screams a pretty solid play here, especially if Dunze's got an ankle injury, like Gully was saying. That's my concern. Plus, Cleveland defensively against is actually one of the worst in the league, or like by worst, I mean best in terms of against the wide receivers. So for me, stay away from that. And go with Likely and Yoshi Voss on that one from my end. Gully, do you see it any differently?
No, I agree. Those are the two. Those are, first of all, it was going to be Likely no matter what.
Right. Well, his issue was of course Mark Andrews who signed that giant deal.
Right.
If we lose to Phillip, I'd count us. Oof. do think we have a great chance. I mean, I think you have a great chance to lose. I don't think you have a great chance to lose. But the way Sam Darnold's, dude, the way he's been up and down lately, and it's more so like the running back game has been a disaster for fantasy purposes between Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. But it's almost like Philly in a way. Like if all you care about is winning games, well, they were doing a good job of that, no matter how ugly it was.
Right.
So it was like, if that's all you care about, they were accomplishing that. When it comes to the running back, is it working? Are we winning? They're doing that. So it's hard to complain. But that's why you play the game, folks. Additionally, I'm not quite done with this John Cena dude. I can't. I just can't.
What's wrong, man?
I'm a little bit in shock that it was, like I felt like I was alone.
Yeah.
In the when it came to Gunther, and then I'm like, am I overselling him to Gully? Like, and then here we are. So like a part of me is like, wow, how validating. Oh, here we go. We got Kai rather, and Claudia. What's good? I'm in a non-PPR 10-man. I think I should start Zay Flowers, Devontae, or Chris Rodriguez as his flex. So select one. Here we go. All right, really quickly, I'm going to, again, Cincinnati is awful against actually, they're not bad against the receiver position.
No.
Which is a little bit of a surprise to me.
Why not?
So check this out. So to be because I think their defense is historically bad when it cost me money that game.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. But no, right away, DJ Turner, I forgot, has returned. He's Pro Football Focus's number 12 corner, and I expect him to shadow Zay Flowers, which is, of course, who was asked in particular. And then, of course, to Flowers' credit, last week he had 11 targets and turned it into 8 catches for 120 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 weeks ago, however, I'm going to remind everybody, he had 2 catches for 6 yards. Yeah. And so I will say the last time that they played also, DJ Turner shadowed him for about 2/3 of the routes in that game. And that's where, as I said a little bit earlier, I lean more towards the tight ends who had a fantastic game the last time around. And so I'm a little less bullish on him. And then as far as I'm going to look at Chris Rodriguez and Devontae Smith here as well. Let's see. So the Raiders are playing a lot of cover 3, and that's really good for A.J. Brown.
Okay.
Devontae Smith's a little bit more volatile in recent weeks against cover 3.
Yep.
He shows up well on paper, has a 21% target per route run and a 29% first read rate. And basically him and A.J. Brown are separated only by 1 deep target against this scheme. So there's some boom potential with him. So he's got top 25 upside. This is playoff week, so I'm telling it to you guys straight as I always do. But this is where I'm not skipping a detail, right? I'm reminding everyone that, hey, you're likely to see some shadow coverage on this guy, whereas on the other guy, if you get some air yards on one of these throws, and this is where you got to put a lot of stock in Jalen Hurts. And that has not been. It feels like Enron kind of late, at least of late. Philly fans, relax. Although they probably agree too. And then,
hold on.
Yep.
Which Devontae?
It's got to be Skinny Batman.
It does.
Well, you could be right. He's got a point. If you want to confirm.
Oh yeah, it ain't. It's only one Devontae. All the others is free agents.
Oh man! So check this out. Despite all the struggles against the pass, the Giants are actually worse against the run. They're actually 32nd. So that, just for context, everybody, there are only 32 teams in the league. So they're last in both just defensive rush success rate, explosive run rate, and
I know Justin Tuck and OCU Manura.
They need them.
Be upset.
They need them today.
They gotta be upset. You understand me?
So again, they're giving up 125 yards per game, which is fantastic if for Chris Rodriguez, and 28 fantasy points per game to the running back position. So hello, it's playoffs. That's stud alert.
Yeah.
Beep beep. Go ahead and hit the nail. You get it?
No.
You never had to hang something, bro? Where you got to find a stud in the wall? Beep. Anyway. All right.
Sorry, I just had to leave you on that island, bro.
Yeah.
A little cold out there, ain't it?
Right. Oh, yeah. Right. Especially here up north.
Just left you out there. Just left you out there.
So, unfortunately for Chris Rodriguez, groin, so soft tissue injury, fantastic. Did not participate in 2 limiteds. So he's up in the air. If he sits, of course, hopefully, the Ja'Cory JCM can do his Undertaker and rise, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I got a sound effect for that. What do we got here? Nope, wrong one.
Leave it alone, bro.
I know.
Just leave it alone.
I would say this: if Chris Rodriguez is active, he should be playable then, because it doesn't get worse than that. You should get some great goal line opportunities. Mariota was serviceable.
Okay.
And quite frankly, the Giants have been terrible. So, if not now, then you might as well just let them go.
Yeah.
Because it ain't going to happen. These guys are literally almost dead last in everything. So, he may only get 12, especially because he said, it's a non-PPR?
Non-PPR. Playing for big money in the playoffs with Josh Allen, Bijan, Jacobs, Adams, J-Mo, Kittle, and either Devontae or C-Rod. Man,
Ooh. Well, again, the right play. Oh, man. It's boom or bust with Skinny Batman. That being Devontae. Just for those that don't know. So, I don't have any shares of Devontae this year on purpose because of the bust part of it. He let me down way too much, bro.
He did, but really, him and AJ have had the same year.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's what's hard.
Because AJ would make you real jealous when you'd look at those stats side by side. That girl with Sharon Moore.
It's been fun, y'all, but we got to run. So make sure you check us out on stream. That, man. Oh, I'm talking about that.
You know what it was? He fired her. You know, she had so
Hold on,
okay.
hold on,
So
hold
look,
on,
there's a
hold on.
restaurant
No,
here,
wait,
right?
wait, wait.
Aiden was Aiden's in Ann
No,
Arbor, right?
wait. We're gonna put a bow on this real quick because that deserves its own few moments. So let's get Kyle and Claudia together. And you saying C-Rod?
I am if he plays. Yeah, the Giants are just too bad on the defensive side against the running back position. And again,
And what? Yeah, so like a game time decision. Point is, I think you. I would hate to lead you astray. My first instinct says Devontae.
I
hate to be divided like that, Kai. Like for us to both come to a consensus, considering how much you got riding on this. So you came to us for advice for us to have consensus would be very helpful for you. I'm not a fan of soft tissue injuries, especially coming back from them. So,
but remember, he said the key word of non-PPR. That's what scares me away from this a little bit.
You said non-PPR.
Yes, meaning it's specific, like limited to
yards
production.
yards and touchdowns.
Yep. So even though
hold on, that's scared. So that would make you shy away from Devontae because of that?
Yeah, because if I'm not getting the points per reception, I'm afraid he's not going to get me the yards because it's a very much boom or bust type of game.
Right. So if he ends up with like 32 yards and a touchdown, Devontae, versus C-Rod could end up with 67 yards and 2 touchdowns.
The Raiders are giving up 154 receiving yards per game, which is, again, it's pretty good, and 15 touchdowns. I will go and physically count now how many of those went to the number 2 receiver.
All right.
That's how I do things.
Okay.
Nobody in game 1. Quentin Johnson was the number 1 receiver at the time. Keenan Allen was in the slot. They both got one. Commanders, Luke McCaffrey. See, my problem is this. I'm looking at the stats, right? Scary Terry gets 3 catches for 74 yards. Luke McCaffrey is the next leading receiver at 3 catches for 50 yards. So you're talking about 5 points. Oof. Okay, how about the Bears? Let's go. Roma Dunze, 4 catches, 69 yards, and a tutty. The Colts, Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman, number 1 receiver. So we're talking about 5 points here, dude. That's, I mean, looking at the Titans is wishful thinking, but Van Jefferson had 75 yards. I'm going to be honest with you. My issue with Rodriguez is that Washington's rotated all 3 running backs. And if this dude is hurt and they really stick to that and kind of play to the hot hand, it, due to the injury, let alone any possibility of a tweak, you could say the safer play is Devontae, but it has the higher boom ceiling.
Man, just say C-Rod. Go ahead, bro.
No. I'm look, the problem with Washington's running backs, dude, is that they're using 3 of them. So it's like, it's almost worse than most in the league. And this guy's hurt. So it's like he may start the first series and then you never hear from him the rest of the game.
Fair.
And this is the playoffs, dude. I'm not getting chewed out from that.
All right, man. Go ahead. Go with Devontae, man.
Yeah, because these guys are in doom and gloom right now. Like they have to throw the rock and find themselves.
Remember, our suggestions are purely recommendations and not to be considered as gospel. Our suggestions, remember, how should I put it? For entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed here on the Shop Report and the Shop Report After Dark are purely for entertainment only and not to be used as a guarantee of any outcomes or situations. Please judge accordingly. This is what we think. This is what
oh
we
my
would do.
gosh, dude. And you got to worry about this too. They're playing. Vegas has Kenny Pickett playing. If they get ahead, man, like they're not going to throw the ball at all. All right, here we go. Raiders are soft against the middle of the field. They're allowing the 6th highest completion rate and 7th highest passer rate. And I brought up that cover 3. Jalen Hurts is right in the middle. QB 17 and QB 20. He does attack down the field in this look. And if you remember, the key here we said was boom potential.
Okay.
That aggressive play style obviously opens up for A.J. Brown, where he's the cover 3. Of course, they're running at the league's highest rate as a whole, 47%. And that's basically creates one-on-one opportunities, which should apply to both.
Yes. Devontae, man. Kai and Claudia.
The Raiders are in the 16th in explosive pass play rate over the last month.
Marginal.
Right. So, again, the 2 corners that the Raiders have are Darian Porter and Eric Stokes. And Jeremy Chin is questionable. You may remember him, I think, from the Patriot days.
Mm-hmm.
And so AJ's getting 11.5 targets per game over the last month. Devontae Smith's seen more volatile usage in recent weeks. Against cover 3, shows up well on paper, 21% target per route run, 29% first read rate, which, again, is great if he can get the deep ball.
No, right. You're saying non-PPR.
Yeah, absolutely. If you see a deep pass go, look, who's the better guy for that? To me, it's Devontae Smith. That's why I used to grab him instead of A.J. Brown. Like I'd wait a little bit type of thing.
Yeah.
Oof.
You looking at this next one?
Oh, my. All right.
They're coming to us, man.
Doctor Strange. Mark Andrews. Look, right away, Mark Andrews we talked about again.
So you could pick two of the 3 of them, right?
Yeah, one tight end /
one flex.
So yeah, 2. Okay, so one of the first 2. Wait a minute. I don't know if we would pick both of them over Chris Rodriguez though, because of.
No. So that's what he's asking. Like, which 2 should I get? So you might go Strange and Andrews and leave Rodriguez out there because one's your tight end, one's your flex.
That's a good point. Yeah, so just to kind of cover the Andrews part, the last time they played Cincinnati, 9 catches, 142 yards on 12 targets. So he's a home run. Now, if I remember correctly, though, like really diving into the Cincinnati defense.
Yeah.
This is where, dude, you want to know what I did wrong? Oh, well, maybe that was against Miami. I'm trying to remember. There was one where I picked a Baltimore tight end to score twice, and I picked the wrong one. The other one did. So I was a real sourpuss on that, dude. It was like a $1,500 loss just by picking the wrong position. Only thing that worries me is likely he's been getting more targets, right? And that's why I was specifically mentioning the defensive position, right? So no different than I brought up cover 3 before. So like we talked about, Zay Flowers is going to be covered, shadow covered by DJ Turner. And the interior matchup is much softer for Andrews and Likely. Likely should have had the touchdown, but he fumbled it while crossing the goal line. So I am right. This was the game. Cincinnati's been dreadful against the tight ends this year. They're giving up the most receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns and fantasy points to the tight end position.
Right.
So this is one of those times where you potentially could play.
Hey,
both.
man, run both of these guys. No, seriously, because one of them has to be a tight end. So run Strange and Andrews, and I would leave Rodriguez. I'd sit Rodriguez. Strange, they playing the Jets at home.
And the Jets are terrible. Yeah, it's
so you say
Brady Cook is quarterback.
Who?
Brady Cook is the quarterback for the Jets.
For the Jets?
Oh, dear God. Look at
so
this.
we saying Jackson probably blow the Jets through, blow out the Jets, though. So he don't see Strange.
Look at him. Look at this success rate chart. Look at where Cook is.
Okay.
He's down at the, way bottom. Brutal.
You think he'd get more work? You think that Rodriguez would get more work than Strange? Or Andrews?
So remember, the Jags are a 13.5-point favorite here if we were having Barbershop J. Yeah, see, so one needs to be the tight end. Only thing, more targets in a blowout, right? And then
Rodriguez would probably get a few goal line attempts.
So give me just a second here because I have another chart, which is the
so then in that case, he's talking like then it would be Andrews and Rodriguez.
Right.
That's what you think?
So check this out. Oh, hang on. I'll pull it up for everybody here. Got a red zone target chart here. Chris Rodriguez, 37% of the time out in the 20, 42%. That's your goal. Yeah, he's absolutely right.
So what you even ask us for, Ray? Said you just needed to hear you be right, man. You got it, bro. Good job. Like you got it, bro.
No. That's reassurance is big, dude. In this game.
You got it. You came to us for the questions. You had the answers, bro.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, you got it. Nah, but wait, hold on. That goes back to it. So then, based off of what we saw with Jacksonville and they match up and their quarterback and their opposing quarterback, it looks like Andrews would be the guy and Rodriguez. Because if Likely ends up being a tight end of Baltimore is productive with, where he might lose out on that by and at least he would counter that, let's say, by having Rodriguez, who's going to be in a goal line situations. All right, yeah, man, run it. All right, I'm on the panel now. All right, for sure.
I love it. Yeah,
right, man.
No, again, he's Strange has been great since he came back, right? Tight end 4, tight end 7, fantasy finishes. He almost was top 10 last week. He had the offensive pass interference call.
Right.
And that was literally an explosive play for a touchdown. But I agree that the Jets, let's see here, the Jets versus the tight end. New York Giants, where is the Jets aren't far. Pretty bad. Only giving up 46 yards per game to the tight end. Whereas, teams like Cincinnati are giving up 96, right? So, so you're already saying bad matchup on paper, potentially blowout. You add factor in blowout potential as well. They're not giving up a ton of touchdowns either to the position. Do they leave them out there when they pull Trevor Lawrence and stuff in the third quarter?
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah, so I think the safer play is who you have, without a doubt. All right, and then kind of quickly beginning to kind of walk through these as a whole. We got Buffalo 1.5 point under our favorites versus at the Patriots. Gully, what's your first thought on that? Agree, disagree?
Say again.
Buffalo is -1.5 going to New England this week. Who's leading the division? Got you, bro.
Yeah, we got you. Tune in to us next week.
Yes, sir. So if you remember, New England won the first matchup 23-20.
And that was weeks ago, right?
Oh yeah, that was week 5.
Yeah. And New England is
sporting a 48% rush rate in neutral game scripts. Buffalo's kind of the pass rate over expectancy on on first downs is the lowest in the league. Like they just run the ball.
Winners of 2 straight. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of their last 8.
Well, and if they're going to do it, check this out, right? The Patriots, New England's given up since they lost Milton Williams.
Yeah.
19 for 107 yards to your guy, Chase Brown.
Yeah.
22 carries for 104 and a touchdown to the Tracy Singletary backfield with the Giants. And so just as a whole now, nobody's afraid to run against New England. Similarly, the way I said that, people were running all over Buffalo.
Right. And Joey Bosa is back.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know that.
Yep. Joey. Yeah. So as of Thursday, he was listed. He was at full practice. He fully practiced. So it's Cole Bishop. Now, Benford is DNP, toe injury. Bernard was limited at practice, and so was Palmer. Josh Palmer wide out.
So obviously James Cook's turnovers are a little bit of a concern.
Yeah.
But he's cleared 80 plus rush yards in 9 of the last 13 games. I brought up kind of quarterback efficiency a little bit earlier, kind of point to that one now, just so you can kind of gauge where everybody's at here. I don't know if I can make that. No, I can't. So there's where Josh Allen is. I mean, outside of Burrow, right? There's your guy.
My other guy, right?
And now remember, this is spanning multiple years, right? So that's why you see Mike Glennon down there, a name you haven't heard in a while. So not exactly bad by any stretch. And again, the Patriots pass defense kind of right in the middle, 18th, which is why I think you saw the success from Cincinnati against them and why that game was a lot closer than people had thought. They are 13th in pressure rate and 15th in quick pressure rate. So Josh Allen typically, he's been getting sacked quite a bit more this year, but that should be a breath of fresh air that he'll have a little bit more time than maybe he's been accustomed to of late as well. So as we talked about with the Bills receivers, you're pretty much playing roulette. Gibby's been very successful at that. I, on the other hand, have not. Every time it seemed like it was Shakir, it was, not. So he went MIA. And again, in terms of boom weeks, Gabe Davis is at 75% route participation. Tyrell Shavers, 50%. Brandon Cooks, 42%. Keon Coleman, remember him? 22%. They were all rotated heavily against Cincinnati. and not a single one of them cleared 25 yards.
Not a single one of them cleared 25 yards. Wow.
That's the thing, dude. Like, you know, like I'm so data driven that I'm like, oh, this guy's here like 99% of the time. Like he doesn't get more reliable or steady Eddie than that. And
Yeah.
it's like, and he didn't, and he was out there jogging. You know what I mean? Like you were just out there for 60 minutes jogging. You did nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Like,
good day, sir. Yeah, it's like, man, how is Josh Allen getting it done, right?
Running. Because to me, this is so like Mahomes, we used to kind of say the same thing. Like he's going to throw it to who he wants. And it was, you know, good luck. Josh Allen almost feels worse. It really almost feels worse. The guy that we want is Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, they casually eased him back into this, and he got 4 for 41 and a tutty. But of course, New England's top 10 against the tight end position this year. So they're, you know, pop that balloon too while we're at it.
Right.
But yeah, in terms of general, you know, the offense is number 2, and but as far as expectant with the pass, but number 30 with the rush. So, fan, make what you will with that.
So, was it Buffalo's giving 1.5? No, New England's giving 1.5.
Yeah, they're getting 1.5. Yes,
New England's getting 1.5
at home.
Yeah, what does Vegas want? What does Vegas know?
Well, look what I did. I mean, think about it, right? Like all of those guys were out there. They rotated. None of them did anything.
Not a single one.
Spin the wheel on who's going to do something.
No, not
then one. The running game. I'm sorry, the passing game for New England is number 2, but the running game is number 30. So it's like you couldn't be further apart.
Yeah.
Like there's no. So it's like, oh, right. what's going to be effective?
You know, I take Buffalo to avenge the loss.
See, this is where I'm not going to completely disagree because so when it comes to Drake May, right? He's the wild card here.
Yeah.
Buffalo's playing too high, as we've known for forever, right?
Right.
To your point, they're getting Bosa back. That matters immensely to this.
Yes.
Because otherwise, Buffalo was 32nd. And a reminder, again, there's only 32 teams. So that means dead last in pass rush.
Wow. Dead last in pass rush?
Yeah, and their pressure rate over the last month. So basically without him.
Hold on. So wait. So when we talk about pressure rate, we're talking about the frequency in which they're able to put pressure on the quarterback. That does not necessarily mean that they're inept at getting sacks or inept at disrupting. It's the single factor of them forcing a quarterback into a situation, the amount of times, right? So they could be like Floyd Mayweather efficient, like, hey, I only throw 30 jabs, but I'm connecting 20. Versus a guy who's throwing 57 jabs and connecting on 11.
Right. The general consensus, though, is that if your pressure rate is bad, then you're going to get picked apart from that. We'll say really
because
good.
You don't have an ability, right? Because basically the quarterback is having time to be able to go through read after read after read, and so if you're not putting up pressure on them, eventually, as the game wears on, he's going to get more familiar with the schemes, more familiar with the offense, and be productive in the later as the game moves on. All right, fine. But like I said, Joey Bosa's back, and that name still matters to a great degree.
Absolutely. So taking it a step further, remember these guys did play each other, and we saw this from Stephon Diggs. He went ballistic. So 12 targets, 10 catches, 146 yards. That was in Buffalo.
Yeah. At home. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
So y'all, I thought it was me. You thought it was me.
So the Bills, of course, have struggled to defend the slot and entered the game, allowing the fourth most points to slot receivers over the last 5 weeks. They're funneling production towards the middle of the field. Remember that too high safety look, kind of funneling everything there. And basically, this is a Stephon Diggs game of the week type of thing if you're in DFS. Another possible thing that could make this even better is Christian Benford for Buffalo may miss the game, one of the corners.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Right.
Yep. So although they may be getting Bosa back, they may be missing the corner. If they get them both back, great.
And he didn't even practice as of Thursday. Benford didn't.
Oh, really?
Practice. Yeah.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, I would say if he's out, Diggs is in. I may play him anyway. If I were playing, I'm just saying.
Right.
But also look for potentially Hunter Henry to have a good game as well. And because I would say he's more in the tight end 2 range. But yeah, so pretty good look there. You said you got the Bills taking this one?
Yeah, any given Sunday. I mean, all the stats suggest perhaps that New England will take care of business, especially, you said, and they're in New England this year.
Correct.
This week. Yeah, circle the wagons. Brother Rich will love that.
All right. And then, of course, we have Jacksonville 13. Do we need to go through that?
No.
All right. Yeah. What about Cleveland versus Chicago?
Man, where the Cleveland Browns? Man, that guy who
can I just bring the obvious up? I mean, this is after dark now, so I don't really give a bleep, but I'm going to say this. Kevin Stefanski's father-in-law. It's not being talked enough about. If you guys really want to know what's going on, remember, this is his father-in-law.
Okay.
Was Tim McCarver. If you go back and watch the 30 for 30 on Deion Sanders, you will see there was one outspoken individual who absolutely hated and minced no words when it comes to Deion Sanders playing both football and baseball, in particular playoff baseball.
Right.
He was very outspoken. The individual in question is Tim McCarver. Again, I'm saying it again because Tim McCarver is Kevin Stefanski's father-in-law. There is a clip here. Hang on.
Okay. And shout out to Serenity for tuning in on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
If I understand correctly, they know nothing about sports, but they love the interaction. So appreciate you, non-sports. We're going to learn you something.
Absolutely.
About sports entertainment. So
here we go. This is courtesy of somebody on Facebook, Untold Sports. Ready? This is our reaction to it. If you don't like it, kiss our grits. And
out of the training room with a bucket of ice water. And I'm kind of peeking like, what is going on? Where are you going with it? And then I heard him say, where's McCarver? And I went, oh no.
Where's he at? Where's McCarver? Where's McCarver? McCarver's right here. Right now. You are a real man. You know that?
Oh.
Hi, father-in-law. Wham!
Oh.
It was like a legal form of assault because it was in a moment of a championship celebration. What a
going to do? Go knock him out, gonna swing on him, then I'm going to jail. I ain't going to do that. I just wanted to
cool him off.
Bring him down a little bit. I just wanted to cool him off a little bit.
Where's he at? There you have it. Okay.
Yeah, and he looks. Shador looked like him a lot.
I love it.
Oh, great, fantastic.
What everyone learned today, for those that didn't know, is that why did they make this kid's life so difficult? Why are they choosing to? Why is he pulling him out in the red zone? Why did he give him no first team reps when he had no choice? That graphic that you just saw is the absolute why to that, because 20 years prior, his pappy went and cooled down.
30 years.
Whatever. Don't age us.
32 years.
He had to do that. But no, so to his point,
7 years ago,
basically right next to Franklin, this individual was was candidly outspoken, hated Deion. I love Deion, right? Deion took the time to talk to me as a youth.
Deion is probably, hot take here, Deion is probably the greatest football player ever.
I would say the biggest icon.
I think he's the greatest football player ever.
What? Why?
Why? Because we know what his ability was as a cornerback. And we know how great he was as a cornerback, so much so that games that he was silent are largely due to the fact that no activity happened on his side of the ball because they threw away from him.
We've seen that historically, right?
No.
Revis Island.
Right, but Darrelle Revis didn't also play wide receiver and also have almost over 400 yards or 500 yards in the season playing wide receiver. Deion Sanders played both sides of the ball. So that matters in all sports, but it's rarely, if ever, been able to be proven in football, because in football, as great as you are a middle linebacker, and that's it. Now, kick return, special teams, everybody's down there, but you're not playing a skilled position in the same game at both times, like Travis Hunter attempts to do, or he would like to do.
Deion Sanders had 700 yards receiving. Does that do anything for you?
Say again?
Deion had 700 yards receiving.
Absolutely, it does a lot, because you talk about for his entire career. Are you talking about that? Hold on, didn't he have over 400 yards receiving as a Cowboy? I thought he had like 400 yards and a couple touchdowns that year.
Well, here, I'll share the tab with you guys just so you can see as well. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I got right here receiving 400 yards just 1 year with the Cowboys, and that was a big one. But my problem with this argument.
What year was that?
96.
They didn't make it to the Super Bowl that year.
What do you mean? I thought that was the Super Bowl year that they won against Pittsburgh.
Depending on how it's listed, 96, the 95 year would have been that could have been it. Then that even makes my point even more. That even solidifies my point. That is en route to a Super Bowl. That is en route to winning your league's ultimate prize. You were a valued contributor. You were the slot receiver. Either you were the slot. Yeah, you were primary, secondary, you're probably the slot receiver. So all of that was actually it wasn't superficial. It wasn't stat padding for Deion Sanders to have 475 yards receiving.
See, I got a problem with that because I was also around one of the other GOATs.
Yeah, did he play defense? And you talk. See, this is what I'm saying. You talk about Devin Hester. Listen, as a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm telling you right now, I'll make an argument. Josh Cribbs is a better special teams.
What?
Yes. You know why? Because of defense. I've seen Josh Cribbs, as great as Devin Hester is, probably Devin Hester eclipses Josh. Well, no, I would say certainly Devin Hester could eclipse Josh Cribbs at his kick returning ability. because of the amount of yards and touchdowns that he has. And I think he has more than Josh Cribbs does. Okay. But I've seen Josh Cribbs make those same plays playing defense. And it seems like it don't matter, but when you're watching the game of football, possessions matter. The fact of the matter is that the Browns were never any good when they had all-time greats. The Browns were never good when Joe Thomas was the best left tackle in football. The Browns never being good when Joe Thomas was the best left tackle in football isn't due to Joe Thomas because he was the best left tackle in football. The Browns not being any good when Josh Cribbs was the best special teams receiver or best special teams player in football during that time is not because Josh Cribbs, because he was the best at his position. And the reason why he was the best at his position is because for the amount of deep returns that he had on kickoff or on punts, special teams on the punt team, he what do you call it? The net return. I've seen plenty of players where Josh Cribbs was the first to the ball and stifled a great kick return. I would love to have seen if there were any instances of the Browns. Well, certainly for as long as they played, the Browns had to have played the Bears. I would love to have seen what those games looked like.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm looking at Devin Hester's, right?
Yes.
And that 3,000 yards receiving is really what I get it. He didn't play corner, but certainly, was in comparison to him, like Cribbs had 1,100 receiving yards. And then, of course, we know Devin currently has the most kick return touchdowns.
Yes.
So, I think that the beauty of it, I'm glad in a way that Devin didn't play defense because it allows both of them to truly kind of be essentially unrivaled in that respect as to what their greatness actually was. And to me, what makes Deion stand out even more is that forget playing both sides of the ball. He played two different balls altogether.
Yeah.
Pause.
You ain't have to say it that way even to get your point across. So you walked into that. All
I'm saying is hey, look, man, it's been fun.
There were plenty of different ways to phrase that, even casually. Why you chose it? Put down that red cup. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Put down that red cup. Okay, that's probably why you phrase it that way.
Man. Oh, man. My point is he played baseball at a very high level also.
Gotcha.
And so much so that the purists, if we want to call them that, or snobs, didn't like it. So I don't mince any words, at least not now.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And
you need to mince mouthwash. So what you need to do.
Unreal. So in short, everybody wants to know why are they giving this kid so much of a headache. Johnny Manziel's weighed in as well and made it clear that, hey, the same media folks that our own host has pointed out that continue to obliterate and take cheap shots at not just him, but the other 25 quarterbacks that have came to town. And only Baker Mayfield has been able to kind of break through, if you will.
Right.
It really speaks to why this kid has been so disadvantaged with this particular coaching staff. And that's really disappointing. But it goes to show how deep that was buried, right? What were the odds that, we go back to that image with Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry.
Yeah.
You hear that supposedly the ownership didn't want him. Ownership kids all wearing 12 jerseys. Weird. You see the girlfriend of QB 2 or 3 or whoever he is saying, "Oh, the Browns lost again." You see that the QB 2 and the coach have the same agent. And then you find out that the coach's father-in-law hated with every fabric of his being someone as arrogant as Deion Sanders wearing a Run DMC era chain on his precious baseball field. And I hope he wiped both feet like a cat that just wiped its rear when he stepped across it. Because quite frankly, that once you let that sink in, that is why Shedeur is in such a crappy position. That dude, well, I cannot believe out of any person or place in the world, it was that coach with this kid.
And you see what he's able to do when he finally got himself together. See, I think this is the biggest lesson of it all. However Shedeur Sanders, however successful he becomes as a professional football player or as an athlete, is largely due to the preparation, not simply because of what Deion Sanders instilled in him in terms of poise and confidence and preparation, but because of what Shedeur Sanders will allow himself to receive and to understand for it to manifest. This is a master class at how to handle and to thrive with heavy expectations, how to handle a situation that is meant for you to suffer, right? Because he ain't said nothing bad about his coach publicly. We don't know what those private conversations might be at his home. I would imagine, I don't say everything. I don't, people who I may not think highly of, and there's very few people, I don't even know them, you know what I'm saying? But the goal is that it'll never come out over social media. It'll never come out in a paper. It'll never come out in public. It'll never come out under a hot mic. Absent those things, you never know that if I have a problem with somebody. Deion Sanders' ability and Shedeur Sanders' ability to keep that consistent is a masterclass at poise and PR, at how to handle negative PR. Because I'll tell you what, there's one said reporter, MKC, right? I done had about enough. Now, I'm going to tell you something here. This here is a bridge too far.
Why? Why?
Because I'm sure that there are quarterbacks. I'm sure without picking, and I'm gonna go find other quarterbacks that had great first. Kerry Collins is a name that comes to mind.
Boy,
okay. About that may have had similar stats through their first career starts. Like, I don't want to do this yet. It's not to say, and again, I'm not a person that says, oh, I'm not comparing him to Brady. Like, no one is above reproach here. But I think this, even at this point, is a leap. Like, there's a lot more still needs to be shown yet before we start comparing. I mean, because of the fact that we're talking about 3 games. We're talking about 3 games. Because how did Joe Burrow look in his first 3 games? How did Brett Favre look in his first 3 games? How did Dan Marino look in his first 3 games? How did Aaron Rodgers look in his first 3 games? How did Derek Carr look in his first 3 games? How did David Carr look in his first?
Both were terrible because they had no offensive lines.
How did Carson Palmer look in his first 3 games? How did Kurt Warner look in his first 3 games? How did Matthew Stafford look in his first 3 games? How did Jalen Hurts look in his first 3 games? You see what I'm saying? Like 3 games? I'm not certain I want to jump out of the tree and anoint a guy or condemn a guy in their first 3 games. So when I see stuff like this, this is like a bit, I don't want to do this. I would rather just tell me what Shedeur Sanders' first 3 games look like, comparing him to Shedeur Sanders. Because it's only been 3 games, is what I'm getting at. Now, talk to me when we look at Tom Brady and his first 3 seasons and Shedeur Sanders.
Well, we may not get that.
Why not? Why do you think we wouldn't get it? How long is his rookie contract for?
Well, look, Stefanski's likely gone at the end of the season, right? I mean, that's pretty fair. So now whoever walks into the building has a serious decision to make, right?
Yep.
So think about that for a second. You have Deshaun Watson, who should be healthy at that point, with a monster contract still remaining for at least 3 more years. Then you have Shedeur, who would supposedly be behind him. And then, of course, don't forget Dylan Gabriel somehow is there as well.
Okay.
So you tell us in State of the Franchise, what do you do here?
You let Shedeur Sanders finish the season looking as good as he is, and you give him an offseason.
But what about Deshaun Watson?
What about Deshaun Watson?
You have like $100 million still attached to him, and he wants to play.
Okay, so it's the case of if he's fully healthy, are you going to let him play? And this money's guaranteed, right?
Correct.
All right, so when you say we may not see that, it may be a case that Cleveland may not see that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
if you're the New Orleans Saints, do you trade for him?
I think a lot of teams will try to trade for him. I think if he's able to be productive, continue to be productive the way he is, I think a lot of teams would trade for him or would want to trade for him. They'd get the Browns back into the draft. They'd help. They would by accident help the Browns recover from the investment that they made with Deshaun Watson. But, well, you know what? Hold on. As I say this, even I'm thinking about like, well, wait a minute. Why would you help him recover? Because if Deshaun wants to play and he proves that he's capable, then the Browns, who basically, by virtue of signing Deshaun Watson and trading for Deshaun Watson the way they did, they changed the course of the league themselves through that trade anyway, because of what you got to give and guarantee now. And the mistake that it looked like it was for those 3 or 4 years, you trade back, you give them back some of the assets that they lost that allowed them to become a CJ Stroud or what have you. Look at what the Texans have been able to do with what they got from the Browns, and part of from what they got from the Browns in Houston, trading for Houston. Yeah, it may be a tough road to toe. Yeah, because you're right, because you're gonna help the Browns recover from that. But if you need a quarterback and you got a guy that's NFL ready, then you're gonna do it. So I think the Browns may in fact trade him.
Likely landing spots. It wouldn't surprise me if the Vegas Raiders were one of them.
That would be the prime. That would be the primary spot. Is Pete Carroll going to be there after this year?
I don't think so.
Where would they go? As a quarterback?
See, I would like in the draft.
No, what I'm getting at is getting to a team that is the foundation is firm enough, the soil is firm enough that you're really installing a quarterback. You get what I'm saying? You think of what's been going on with Baker Mayfield's career, right?
So you're trying to suggest almost if you're falling out of the plane, where's the softest landing spot?
Yeah, because here we go, a new offense, new coordinator. I really wouldn't want to have a brand new guy all together, right?
Well, you're going to have that potentially even if you were still in Cleveland. You may not have the pressure because technically Deshaun would be the starter. I don't see Cleveland outright cutting him. I think they're stuck. So if you can get any asset for pennies on a dollar, which is of course your 5th round pick, and that's the thing. I don't know. This is where it's really interesting because what would the return be for Shador, right?
The Browns, right? As good as he's playing, the Browns are well out of playoff contention.
Mm-hmm.
So a team we don't really know how good he is because he ain't help you win, that sort of thing, right? You could use that excuse basically because of the schedule, because of this the results, the standards that the Browns have. You're gonna keep Dylan Gabriel because that's the quarterback that you like, maybe. You got to play Deshaun Watson. Deshaun's not going to go to the bench. He's got to have a year healthy with a coordinator. Man, you know what? I think it's too early to tell, bro. It's hard for me to imagine now because you're right. Because Stefanski, if he's leaving, if he's gone, then
is Andrew Berry going to want to trade him?
Going to want to trade who? Well,
Sure.
Is Andrew Berry going to have his job as well?
I'm going solely off of the interactions that I've witnessed, right?
Yep.
I've watched Stefanski intentionally act like, and Shador was here. Man, I would have hit him with the Hemi Award. I just like, no.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. So, right. And I'm throwing too many questions of variables here. So it seems like I'm evading answers, evading questions.
Well, but I'm just reminding you too.
But, my bad. Yeah. Yeah, you can't keep both if both of them want to start.
Got Keith tapping in. Who to flex? Adunze, QJ, Tyrone Tracy, Jay Higgins, and Addison. Just one, Keith? Boy.
Yeah, we'll wait for it. Meanwhile, let's put a bow on this here. Yes. What was the answer that he gave yes for? What did you ask? Two. You
just
said
one.
Two? It's just, man. Just good night, bro. 1, 2, 3. Playing R. Okay, so he's gonna play RJ over the rest. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So Adunze, we said he has the ankle injury that we're not sure is he, and Cleveland's really good against the receiver position, not giving up a ton of touchdowns and certainly yardage as well, even though Denzel Ward, I think, is out.
Right.
And then Quentin Johnston, man, he was Mr. Brick Hands. I've never trusted that guy. Like, Tyrone Tracy's losing time, so Boilermaker, a little bias here, but he's splitting time with Devin Singletary, so I don't love that either. Addison, I have some shares of, but again, J.J. McCarthy being the wild card. So looking at the receiver position, just Addison, I have a wide receiver 34. Again, Dallas is probably the best position overall, or like a best opponent because they're just god awful. But they've been playing better, and that's the frustrating part. So Let's see. I'm going to start with that game. Higgins was. Let's see. The problem with Higgins is the volume. I don't think he's going to get enough of the volume unless is somebody missing on.
I thought we talked about this.
No, not on Houston.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. So in rankings, Higgins I have at 32, Addison 34, Quentin Johnston. Where the heck is he? Dunze I have at 30. Oh, 49 for Johnson. Oh, against Kansas City too. Ugh.
All right, Mrs. Alva.
Boy, oh boy.
Just throwing stuff in. Okay. 2 QB league. Jordan, Stroud, Jackson, Sanders, second round playoffs. You just throwing stuff out there. Oh, wait. I have Knicks too. All right. Just flexing. Like Eddie Murphy when he closed the ceiling on his roof in his documentary. We didn't need to see that, man.
All right, here we go. Stroud's currently 18 in drop back pass success rate, behind Michael Penix and Carson Wentz. He scattered deep shots to Nico Collins. The get right spot at home as a massive favorite. Arizona's pass defense ranks 31st in drop back success rate, 22nd in expected pass efficiency per drop back. Injuries to Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, so both safeties, and then Max Melton make this matchup even more enticing. Over the last 4 weeks, the Cardinals secondary ranks 29th in explosive pass rate. We just saw Puka light him up for 7 for 167 and 2 touchdowns. Now it's Nico Collins' turn. So, but the problem is Jaden Higgins, okay, so he's picked up 5+ targets in 5 straight games. So he's on the flex radar. Okay, so we're not completely writing him off yet. His route participation, Keith, has been dropping, though, in consecutive weeks. So listen to this. Since CJ's came back, 70%, 63%, 54%. And then what's happened is Dalton Schultz has started to take some of his route share away.
All right.
So you're talking about less opportunities despite the targets. So less opportunities means less, in theory, means less targets. So that is certainly a concern, especially knowing that they're likely to be blowing these dudes out, which means even less. And they might, matter of fact, has he been doing kick returns again? I'm going to double check. I'm jumping on the Sleeper app here really quickly.
You in trouble. I got you in trouble, Double J. I'm sorry.
Ooh. Oh.
Got you in trouble.
All right, so no returning action. But yeah, 61% in week 11, 58, 58, and 60. In those last 2 weeks, he went 5, and then he went 5 for 3. That's – did he mention if it was a PPR?
It is
PPR. So you're talking about 8 points is his floor, I would say, is about 8. Is that going to – that for a flex spot, that's really not going to get it done. Low expectancy with the touchdown, I think the better play. There's got to be a better play out here. Let's see.
You don't like Tyrone Tracy?
I'm leaning Addison. Weirdly, because again, so
you got tomorrow at 8. So
well, I would call it high risk, high reward, right? Minnesota's passing game obviously took a step back. But McCarthy showed us something last week, right?
Yep.
And Dallas defense is 30th in net yards per attempt and 32nd in passing touchdowns. So, like, bruh, so unlike Higgins, who's only going to be out there a couple times, Addison's going to be out there for more of the route share, and Dallas is almost dead last to the receiver position in touchdowns,
even at home.
Oh, that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I watched Russell Wilson tear them up at home.
All right, so
and they're 32nd against fantasy wide receivers as well. So,
what do you mean against fantasy wide receiver? Like how? I mean, who other wide receivers are they playing against?
Well, no, I'm just saying in general, they're 32nd fantasy wide receivers. They also play fantasy running backs. They play fantasy quarterbacks. Yeah, they play fantasy tight end, Gully.
I mean, who they play like? Right, these not creative players, right? Like,
but that is the arbitrary way that we do kind of discuss human.
Go
beings.
to Addison. I'm standing with Addison.
Let me look at Tracy.
Now I look at Tyrone Tracy. I mean, versus Washington Sunday. So the Giants at home versus Washington.
Roma Dunze is a game time decision.
Yeah, so
I would say if Luther Burden's available and if you really wanted to try to go against them, but I don't like. Look, here's the thing: Myles Garrett is going to sack the heck out of the painted nails. Denzel Ward is hurt. Tyson Campbell's hurt. Rayshon Jenkins is hurt. Dude, when I just anyway, Grant Delpit's hurt. But as you saw, Tennessee exploited the run, not the pass, folks. So it makes me very, very wary of Odunze in this case. And then let's see who he's got. Oh, that was the first game here. Washington. Trying to make sure I don't skip anything for you. So Tracy had 63.5% snap share, was averaging 20 touches per game over the previous 4. Before the week 13 hip injury. Now he said the hip was fine and also had an extra week to get healthy. So Washington's front seven's giving the 5th most rushing yards per attempt to opposing backs, which is 111 yards. And the 3rd most total scrimmage yards from scrimmage, so 148, and the 6th most overall to the position. I would say, Tracy's the RB2, but if you look at J.J. McCarthy tore Washington up through the air, not necessarily on the ground. So
yeah,
I would say, yeah. And so, yeah, I would say that's probably the safe bet as well for me between, Addison. Yeah, see, I was going to choose between. See, I didn't even see all that. Look at that.
I told you Addison like 5 statistical analyses ago.
I'm going Texans defense because Jacoby's going to have to throw for his life, and they're going to intercept him like 4 or 5 times.
Now, wait a minute. Who's Seattle got? Seattle's
They're going
them?
against Indianapolis with the Old Man Rivers. It's a wild card.
Yeah.
He comes out and hands the ball off 100 times.
Yeah. Texans.
I can pick up Bird and start him and drop him. And again, it's the game time decision that, make ads or devalues him. If there's no Odunze, it's a good matchup. I still think the other two guys that you're talking about between Addison and Tyrone Tracy are the better two. Let me just double check the defense. They're going against Washington. Washington's, it's top 7, giving up 111 yards and 11 touchdowns. So then let's go to the goal line rushing. I'm going to switch it here to the New York Giants. That might be what kills it. Because if you look, it's Devin Singletary and Jackson Dart and then Tyrone Tracy. All the touchdowns so you have no touchdown potential with Tyrone Tracy. That's the problem. It's been Jackson Dart. Look at this, dude. Inside the 20, 14 attempts with 5 touchdowns to Dart, 15 attempts for 2 touchdowns to Singletary. Inside the 10, 11 attempts for 2 touchdowns to Singletary, 9 attempts for 4 touchdowns for Dart. This is rushing, mind you. Inside the 5, 6 attempts for 1 touchdown for Singletary, 5 attempts for 3 touchdowns for Dart. Nope. No. That sucks.
Yeah. So, like I said, Addison.
Yeah.
Like I said, Addison.
Look, hey, you can't say we weren't thorough about it.
We weren't thorough. I mean, we thoroughly said Addison.
Yeah, I don't like Higgins at all. QJ, no. I can double check, triple check him.
What's that?
Quentin Johnston.
Oh, and then somebody from Facebook had a 2 QB league. They want to know who to start in addition to Bo Nix. And one of our hosts on the show didn't answer the question. So we're going to answer it now.
Well, okay. So just quickly with the gentleman's questions here. Herbert's been an equal opportunist against too high coverage. And we saw since week 6, the tight end has emerged with 75% of the snaps. And then Herbert leaned on McConkey on a per route basis against too high, 23%. You know who that doesn't say and who they're not mentioning?
Who's that?
His guy, Quentin Johnston. So even if the Chiefs don't have Trent McDuffie, I still don't like the matchup there for him. So yeah, we'll stick with what Gully said.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Good luck, man. And then, all right. So you said there was another?
Yeah, there's a couple more, and then we're gonna get to something. Then we're gonna get out of here unless y'all get back to y'all evening.
2 quarterback leagues. Stroud,
yeah, you, buddy.
Super flex league. Or no, well, maybe not.
Why didn't you have time to answer this question, sir? And you in the thumbnail. You.
Look, man.
Someone on this show told me to ask because he didn't have time to help me earlier. It wasn't me. And they're on this show, so it ain't barbershop. So unless we already gave what's the name keys to the show, yeah, unless Raise the Sales was supposed to answer it and didn't get to it.
Oh man,
you need to win this week, dude. So wait a minute, 2 QB leagues.
Bo Nix,
Jackson Sanders,
and Bo Nix.
Well, it sounds like Bo Nix is going to stay, right? Wait a minute. No. She said, "Oh wait, I have Nix." So she didn't say that she is going. So she need to pick 2 of them.
All right. So Bo Nix is at 15, and then Stroud's at 16. Sanders is at 23, and who was it? Oh. Lamar, yeah. Oh my gosh, Lamar against Cincinnati's a no-brainer. So that's the first one. Okay, that was easy.
So Lamar, I'll go with Lamar and Stroud.
Why Stroud? I'm just curious.
Hold on. I got to rethink that. Yeah, no, wait a minute. Wait a second. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. You're right. Because even though, Puka went, the Cardinals are 29th in explosive pass play rate.
Yeah.
So Puka went 7 catches for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. So if that goes to Nico Collins, Arizona's secondary looks like they'll be without multiple members of the secondary. And so Nico Collins has a schematic matchup against cover 4 looks. He's a 32% target per route run and a 32% first read rate. So this is why, to Keith's point, why you don't hear me saying Higgins at all. You hear me saying, this guy.
Yeah.
Right? He's doubled the next closest wide receiver in targets in games with Stroud under center, operating as a clear top option. If we look past the 3-target outing against Buffalo, he'll draw totals of 8, 10, 10, and 15. And he got 90-plus yards in all of them.
Yeah, so Stroud.
Yeah.
I know it's a divisional matchup when it comes to the AFC North and Jackson versus Cincinnati, correct? Yeah.
Right, but if we were going to look at this, so Derrick Henry's got 20 total touches in 7 of the last 8 games. Believe it or not, the only outlier was this game versus Cincinnati.
20 total touches?
Yeah. That's wild, ain't it, at this point in his career?
In 7 games, 20 total touches?
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Lamar Jackson was ice cold against this defense last time. Very nearly could have had 3 touchdowns added to his ledger. But Cincinnati's been beaten up by about every single opponent. I think we see Jackson correcting his Week 13 misfortunes. Cincinnati's 31st in passing, pass defense, 31st in expected pass attempts per drop back, 32nd in drop back success rate. Remember, there's only 32 teams.
Right.
They're bottom 5 in coverage grade and ESPN's pass rush win rate. They're giving up the 3rd most scheduled adjusted fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. 3rd. There's your answer, right? So DJ Turner, again, is going to shadow Zay Flowers, but Lamar Jackson will likely just destroy them with both of the tight ends, as we discussed a little earlier on the show as well.
Yeah.
Yikes. Jeez.
Right.
I mean, who's Bo Nix playing? I mean, I have Bo Nix, but I'm on a bye week this week because, that's what happens when you win. That was a jab, but let's see. Green Bay. I don't love
at home, though.
Green Bay's top 5 in pressure rate. That's where Bo Nix has sucked. He's number 2. He's QB2 in the league when he's got a clean pocket. When he's pressured, he drops to 44% completion rate, which is QB 29, again 32. And then QB 40, and number 33 overall graded quarterback out of 43 qualifying.
Wow.
Hate the matchup. No way. Not a chance. The Pack are top 12 in fewest fantasy points per game to the wide receivers. There's a reason for that because the quarterback's getting, having bad things done.
Right. Right.
So, no. You want some too, old man? No.
Right. So Stroud and Jackson. Mrs. Out. Stroud and Jackson.
Good night. Absolutely.
All right.
Us too, yeah.
We're about to be out of here in a few minutes too. We got a couple more things we want to get off our chests, and then we're gonna get out of here, man.
Do you need a break for this, or are you ready for this?
Nah, let's just go ahead and get right into it, man. Bring them on home because we might end up being here for another half hour if it gets rolling.
Right. All right. The topic of the hour is Sharon Moore. Okay.
Man, how do you fumble a bag?
Now, there are a lot of things, kids, that were done wrong here. Not to suggest, I would know about a playbook on how to do that correctly. But there were a number of things that were done wrong. And here's some weird facts. Okay. I'm gonna do this live, right?
All right.
So I was in Ann Arbor today for Aiden's games, and it was brought to my attention that there's a pizza. Oh, they changed it to Will Johnson's.
What you mean?
This girl had a pizza named after her.
What was it called?
I don't know. But in all seriousness, no, she so just for context, if I were to give you some folks that have things on the menu, okay? Adam Schefter. Okay.
Pause.
Chad Henne. Mm-hmm.
Wait, pause. How did she was known to the point where she had an item at this pizza shop?
This is not a pizza. The restaurant is called the Brown Jug. Been around since 1936, of course. And one of the unique features of that place, obviously being right in the heart of downtown Ann Arbor, is that all of the Michigan legends are who kind of create the menu.
So she had a pizza. She had a menu item there.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's say more. Say more. You wanted to bring up some stuff because I want to get right into it.
I do. I want to point out that she had, and it was removed earlier this week. So, again, it cuts his ex-assistant, right?
Yep.
Because a lot of people right away once you kind of point this out, right?
Yep.
Paige Shiver's cauliflower gluten-free pizza has been removed from the menu.
How does she have a menu item? That's crazy.
You see what I'm saying? This is deeper than.
Yeah. I told you, bro. We'll be here all night, man.
Well, this is what we do. But yeah, so Sharon Moore sampler basket featuring jalapeno poppers.
No, bring this up, bro. Bring this up. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. McLaurin and Hampton Wilson at Flex. Hampton and Wilson. So Scary Terry has the quarterback, has Mariota at quarterback. And then Hampton. Oh, didn't somebody have Hampton? Did Keith have Hampton?
I thought so.
No, he had Higgins.
No, yeah, you're right. He had Omarion Hampton running back at.
Yep. The problem is he's sharing time.
Who?
Hampton.
Oh, Hampton.
Yep. Oh, I know you're lying. I just saw that.
Yeah.
And then Wilson. So bear with me just a second on that one. Emmanuel Wilson is hurt or sick. So they're saying like he may not play.
So even though we got Mariota,
and the Broncos' run defense is really freaking good.
Even though we've got,
Denver's run defense giving up the fewest yards from scrimmage and the fewest explosive runs and second fewest fantasy points per game to opposing running backs.
But even though it's Mariota.
Oh, and then Michael Wilson. If Michael Wilson's playing, absolutely, dude. We talked about how, yes, the Houston defense is phenomenal, but they have no choice but to throw the ball.
Okay.
So it is what's his face still hurt? The Ohio State kid, dad played for the Colts.
Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on Harrison. And we are talking about Michael Wilson then, right?
Oh, he's out. Yeah. Michael Wilson will be back as wide receiver 1. Holy smokes, man. But they're such a good defense. That's the crappy part. It's not a great matchup, obviously. It's a horrible one. But you're talking about a team that has no choice but to throw. So let me see if I can see. Okay. Michael Wilson is averaging 33.8 fantasy points per game in his 3 games filling in. Obviously, elite volume target, especially in PPR. Dude, listen to this, Scully. His totals of 18, 15, and 16. So I would say because Houston's
catches per game?
Totals, yeah. That's the targets per game. That's unheard of.
Yeah, right. For a wideout, right. 18, 15, and 16?
Yeah, because Brissett's averaging 43 attempts per game.
Wow.
Houston's pass rush, though, is number 2 in pressure rate, number 5 in quick pressure rate. We talked about those earlier with Buffalo. And then also number 6 in sacks. And Arizona's O-line is 27th in pressure rate allowed. So, like, that basically means, like, it's grass in the wind.
Gotcha.
Right. So, I mean, I think Trey McBride could have a much better game because of, he's going to have to get rid of the ball early. But, oof. Hampton, I just don't trust yet because of how little they worked him in. And so, knowing that you have 2 healthy running backs essentially, and Jim Harbaugh is a creature of habit. Good luck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I would say, let's see. So no Trey Benson. They literally have no running game in Arizona.
Right. So if it's going to be done at all, it's going to be done through the air. So it'd be Wilson.
Yeah. All right. And then Dart or Lamar?
Hold on. We didn't give him an answer.
I thought you did.
I gave an answer. Do we got the consensus on that one?
Well,
we got to be definitive now.
All right. Let me look at McLaurin.
I mean, it's not much to look at it because of, matchup and who they're playing. You get what I'm saying?
There are a lot. So Terry McLaurin for sure, top 6 marks in receptions, receiving yards, and fantasy points to the position. So they're basically very friendly to the slot receiver, which may be more so Deebo Samuel. Obviously, there's no Zach Ertz anymore. But they have this problem is this, Gully. McLaurin hasn't played a lot when it's been Mariota. They've only played together 3 times. McLaurin tied Ertz in target share at 21.8 and first read rate at 24.7%. He was also Mariota's number 1 target inside the 20. He had 6 targets. The only player that drew any end zone targets 5. So I would say McLaurin, Michael Wilson would be the obvious choice if he wasn't going against God as defense.
Yeah.
He said it's a tough one. I know. You ain't kidding, dude. To me, it's between McLaurin and like we said, with Michael Wilson. You tell me. I like those numbers with McLaurin, and we know that the Giants are kind of trash money records. But the other group has no choice but to throw the ball. So does he get garbage time? See what I'm saying?
I do. Let me see how we look at this again.
Red zone wise, I like the red zone opportunities in particular, right? It was Mariota's number one target inside the 20 with 6, and then he had the only player that drew any end zone targets, 5.
Go with Terry McLaurin, even though most of the wisdom is
conventional wisdom says the targets, the volume, everything's going. If they're down 100-0, Michael Wilson's still in that game and catching the ball.
If it changes anything, I have the Mariota stack because I'm forced to start him.
Oh my God.
Oh, so he's saying okay, I get what he's saying. So for him in his case, we don't have to lean so heavily on what McLaurin does because he has to play Mariota. So whatever we think we might miss by McLaurin, it's gonna be covered because he in fact also has the QB. So then if you want to diversify your ability to win points, then go ahead and then go with Wilson since you're starting Mariota anyway.
So conventional wisdom says start looking at things like over-under totals, right? So 46 versus 42, implied team totals of 16.5 from the Cardinals, example, versus 26 from Houston. And so 16 is pretty obvious, that's 2 touchdowns if we're lucky. The Commanders, on the other hand, are at 22, which implies that there's a third one there. So what we have to ask ourselves is, does that touchdown likely go to him? Based on the data I said, it should, right? If I were making a touchdown prop, it would be likely outside of Jackson Dart in this game. Yeah. And in particular, I think we just watched, on the other side of things, we watched J.J. McCarthy have a good game against them. Oof. That's the only difference maker here. I think these guys basically will end up somewhat breaking even. It's just
right. So if they break even, then go with Wilson and then Mariota, since you already have Mariota.
Well, he's saying he could stack them. So what that represents, Scully, is obviously if Mariota throws the touchdown to him, now you got 10 points instead of just 6.
Okay, that's fine. I would say Wilson and Mariota.
I
would say Wilson. Yeah, Wilson.
It's just hard to argue that. I think he gets in the end zone late.
Who does?
I think it's got Wilson.
Okay, so if he gets in the end zone late, you already talked about how many targets.
The garbage time, yeah. So you're talking about 12. He ends up somewhere in the 16 or as high as the 21 range.
21 range of terms of targets.
Points.
Oh, points.
Now, obviously, you subtract, 6, and he just gets 12 catches and only a handful of yards. Again, it's one of those weird games where a dude could end up with more points because of the catches themselves. I don't think Houston has to do anything exotic like shadow cover him or anything like that. It's not that type of dude. So Giants, defense is awful. Exactly.
The Giants defense,
right.
Yeah. So I think he's selling himself on it. So y'all say the stack McLaurin with Mariota stack. I just think that I'm more settled on understanding that the stack could help. I'm more settled on diversifying that just in case it goes bad and getting them points from Wilson. But okay, have it stacking, McLaurin with Mariota can stating obvious, it can prove beneficial. Dart or Lamar, I'm firmly sticking with Lamar Jackson.
I think it's close, right? Dart's QB6 against zone looks, QB7 and passer rate, and he's also an aggressive thrower. And we talked about the red zone stuff, man, where he's going to run.
Yeah,
he can score. So I would say I don't think you will not lose because of either of this particular choice.
Right.
Lamar did have a crappy game against Cincinnati. I expect him to not have a crappy game. As we kind of discussed a little earlier, the data suggests he should absolutely have a fantastic game. And so should his tight ends and basically everybody, except for, say, Flowers, who's shadow covered. But Jackson Dart, I think, gets in the end zone as well, and has a decent day, especially coming off of a really late bye week. So you got to remember this, folks. Totally two different comparisons. Lamar hasn't been running as much. 45% of Dart's fantasy production has literally came off of him rushing the ball.
Right.
He said, Benzo's asking, do I bench Swift for Aaron Jones? Going to... Well, okay, so Swift right away, you think of the success that Tony Pollard had. What do you make of that? Was that a fluke? Is Stefanski going to do better? Remember, we got to do better.
Yeah. Got to do better.
Man.
This guy, 2-time coach of the year.
Yeah,
Twice.
Got to do better. How did he fool everybody?
Twice coach of the year, bro.
So Cleveland, outside of that last week, Pollard was only the second running back to clear 100 yards against the Browns this season. Obviously, the other guy was Derrick Henry.
Right.
And he barely got there at 103 yards for the record. If you look at it from a positive game script, both Swift and Monangai should get enough work behind the Bears O-line that ranks number 2 in run block win rate and number 3 in just overall run block grade. So Swift is an RB2, Monangai is maybe an RB3 at most.
But Aaron Jones.
Right, that's really the key here.
At Dallas.
So last week we finally saw him kind of ramping back up because he, outside of the Bears, coincidentally, he had 14 attempts for 76 yards just a week ago. And then I'm looking at Dallas's stats. Let's see. Okay, so that's a Sunday night game. Got Aaron Jones at 23, and he said Swift I have at 22. And then defense versus running backs. Dallas is right in the middle at 19. Giving up 93 yards a game, 4.7 yards per carry, and 11 touchdowns. Whereas
the Brownies
are 22 at 88 yards per game, 3.9 yards per carry. So technically, the better matchup is with Aaron Jones.
Yep.
And he's not sharing time like DeAndre Swift is. So yep. I'm okay with you with making that change.
Yeah. Aaron Jones, man.
Tony Pollard from Little against San Francisco.
Against San Francisco.
San Francisco is 24th in the league against the running back, giving up 86.4 rush yards per game, 4.2 per carry, and only 7 touchdowns. So simply put, I think the answer is no. If you got a better option, I would ideally maybe go that way. Oh, and then Bub Hunt Shrimp. If Jacobs is out, do I start Wilson or Dowdle? It's coming from you, Gully, on Twitch.
If Jacobs is out, do I start Wilson or Dottle? Dottle. If Jacobs is out.
Yeah, Wilson's sick too, which we've talked about a few times. Unless he's talking about Michael Wilson, but I think he's talking about the backup because all these are running backs.
Yeah, at New Orleans, I would take Dottle.
Let's see. So check this out. I'm going to Carolina in the red zone. Okay, rushing. Rico Dowdle's 27 attempts for inside the 20 for 5 touchdowns. Inside the 10 is 12 attempts for 5 touchdowns. The next closest is Chumbawamba at 5 for 1. But again, listen to both of those. 50% of the time in the red zone, it's Dowdle. And then inside the 5 for 3 touchdowns, 62% of the time. So his efficiency 60% inside the 5-yard line, which is pretty darn good. And then if I were to do the same for Green Bay, Wilson, it's not even close, obviously. It's Josh Jacobs all the way. 27 for 10 touchdowns inside the 10, 15 attempts inside the 5 for 8 touchdowns, which is almost 79% conversion rate. Whereas Emmanuel Wilson's at 3 attempts for 2 touchdowns. So he's at least been successful 67% of the time, of course. But it's just he naturally hasn't had the same volume of opportunities. And then Green Bay was playing who again?
Green Bay has Denver, I believe.
Oh, yeah. No way. So Denver's defense is basically one of the best against the running back, 73 yards per game allowed with 7 touchdowns allowed. So you would be living on a prayer that he gets maybe, exactly that, right? 70 yards rushing and then a touchdown and then maybe a couple check down passes to help you, basically. Right. And then you said the Saints are the other. They're giving up 112 yards per game and 10 touchdowns. So even with the shared time, I would be really comfortable with with Rico Dowdle, in spite of Chumbawamba being there. Michael Wilson just got married. Gully, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh man, you're gonna perform, bro. Come on, you just got married. You're on the high life, man.
All right.
We'll go with that. I would expect him to kind of show out. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm taking yeah.
Well, a couple of guys we talked about a little earlier on again, I think you could put a 3-legger together right away with some of the matchups that we talked about a little earlier in the show.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. And then, all right. So lastly, so Sharon Moore.
Well, first, we want to thank y'all for tuning in with us before we head out. We want to thank y'all for tuning in with us and with your fantasy questions. Glad to see that you guys were coming to us for our valued advice and opinions. So we're going to keep that running as we get back and get more consistent when we come on and give you your questions and give you your answers. But appreciate y'all tuning in with us for that. That being said, we ain't going to take no more fantasy questions for tonight. We'll save that for next week as your playoffs continue. We wish y'all success, and hopefully our picks are the things that get you to the next level.
But absolutely. Way to set the stage there. So, again, Sharon Moore, obviously tough set of circumstances. He didn't help himself here with reaching out via direct message to an OnlyFans model after he got out of jail.
What?
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to hear what you just said because of the stupidity of it.
Yeah. So the real thing that happened here, of course, he had reached out to that lady. He had attended a Diddy party, and he did ask for her to participate with him and apparently at least 2 others. So I don't know who the 2 others are, right? That's
He
the thing.
attended a Diddy party for real?
Yeah.
All right.
He was a wild man.
This is all right. So this is a cautionary tale about comfortability. And what comfortability does to you when you are places that you may not should be, doing things you shouldn't be. Can't be too comfortable.
But how do you feel, though, that the wife followed the girl on Instagram? That's why when I hear that he reached out to the other girl, and it said 4 in particular, if I had to guess just off the people that I'm aware of in the circumstance, it sounds like all of them.
It's quite possible. But this is what I'm talking about comfortability. Like, you really have no idea. You don't have perspective on what it is that allows you such access. Bro, you're not doing this if you don't have a job as esteemed as the one you do that pays as well as you do.
It's fair.
You're not afforded the grace and the courtesy that you are if you don't have the job that you do with the prestige that's attached to it, with the money that's attached to it. Now you just a broke dude just cheating.
Yeah.
And how valuable are you to the people that you entertain?
But here's the thing, again, something that was worth mentioning is that they're now going to supposedly investigate everything. Apparently, this has been investigated 2 to 3 times. It was very well known. I don't know how this young lady managed to be on the Brown Jokes, menu, but apparently, so she was very familiar within the community. It only became a problem when he fired her instead of moving her to a different position within the athletic department. So again, cautionary tale even on his behalf, because he could have just said, now you're working with the soccer team.
Right. Or maybe it got to such a point where maybe firing her was because she didn't want to be moved. See, we might think of it as he could have moved her, but instead he fired her. Who's to say that conversation didn't happen? And he was like, listen, I'm going to need to move you. And she was like, nah, I'm good where I'm at. So what are we doing? And then he was like, well, if I can't move you, then this got to happen. In which case it was kind of like, if we're talking about the whole setup aspect, the whole she was a plant, she was an op aspect, it was kind of like at the point where it came down to, hey, either I got to move you or I got to fire you. It was already checkmate at that point, because whatever move you're doing is going to be exposure and vulnerability on you. Again, it's about cautionary tale. Like, how could you allow yourself to be so distracted in the behaviors that you are allowed to indulge in by virtue of the job that afforded you the ability to do that? You didn't respect, even, like I said, and I'm saying this from the most pessimistic, misogynistic point as I can. Like, not even set aside the morality. It's about tactfulness, and really the tackiness of it is what the problem is. That you know what I'm saying. The tackiness of it is the exposure. That's the problem. It was so tackily done. It was so tacky that, and so this is why I'm not entertaining the idea that she set him up, because even if that's 100% true, even if that's 100% true, there are still ways and manners to move Because now, what does it mean that you got set up? You still moved very terribly, and you still jeopardize your family and your respect.
Well, that last move. Oh.
No, you're gonna hear more of that because it's the same thing. She probably was exactly what this girl was, and had the assignment, understood the assignment. But the idea of it is the person in charge, the person in control of the situation, had a responsibility, a moral responsibility, and secondarily, a tactful responsibility, and they chose not to. Yeah. Oh, bro, 679. We were done with the. Oh boy, wow.
What's up, bros? Definitely get it in before we head out here.
No.
The same thing. Tucker tucked in the phone. Oh. I'll drink out of a Michigan cup for that. For a flex and a full PPR, should I start Justin Jefferson, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Scary Terry? We talked about Scary Terry a little earlier, that basically out of the red zone targets, he was the only receiver to actually get any from Mariota from the 3 games that they played together. The Giants are vulnerable to it. And then, of course, let's see, with Wan'Dale Robinson and Justin Jefferson. So the Giants, on the other hand, obviously the problem with Jackson Dart is throwing. And so JJ McCarthy, of course, looked really good. Washington ranks 32nd in the pass and 30th in defensive pass success rate and 31st in explosive pass rate. So they're basically exclusive, playing a zone-based defense, the highest rate over the last month, and they're trying to basically slow a team down. And they don't do a very good job of it. And so it does, against zone looks, Jackson Dart's QB6 in fantasy points per drop back, and then QB7 in passer rating. And so with obviously the extra time here, I would say Wan'Dale's in a great spot, especially if you're talking about even in a DFS standpoint.
Yep.
So he's had totals of 7 and 9 over the last 2 outings, and he's been in the slot 68% of the time. And guess who he's going against? Pro Football Focus's number 15th and cornerback in the slot, which is Noah. I want to play something different. And so, Darius Slayton also has some vertical matchup appeal here. And Washington's allowed the 7th most receptions and 8th most yards, and the number 1 highest completion rate and 2nd highest passer rate on throws of 10+ air yards. So potentially Darius Slayton may be in a better spot because of the deep ball. But how much is Jackson Dart really going to throw down the field? That's really the key. But he will have the opportunity to do so. As far as Justin Jefferson, let's see. We talked about Minnesota a little earlier. Oh, yeah, against Dallas. Oh, my gosh. And we know Dallas is terrible. They're the worst team against the receivers.
Yeah.
171 yards per game allowed, 22 touchdowns, which is the most in football. I would say, even though Justin Jefferson's quarterback is not that great, if not now, when? And because Terry's going to have less opportunities, but a higher percentage. Wandale should have a good game, but the problem is in the red zone, as we talked about a little bit earlier, it's Jackson Dart running. 45% of his production comes off of running. That's not good if you have a receiver. So against the worst defense in the league, I would say if Justin Jefferson can't get it done for you now, then he's never going to.
Yeah.
At least not this season. All right. Any final thoughts, D. Gully? John Cena is officially a retired man.
Final thoughts, man, to put a bow on it. John Cena has a storied career with shock and awe, ended on a shock and awe moment to end most, if not all, shock and awe moments. I would just say most shock and awe moments to end, but not ending all most shock and awe moments. For him to lose his final match, not a problem for me. For him to tap out, big problem for me. What I think they need to do is that should be a signal that Gunther is your next guy, is your next one, is your next up, and Gunther should propel this into a hefty and long and well-booked reign atop the company with one of those two belts. If it's done with any purpose. If not, then who knows? Because certainly WWE has given us, the creative has given us quite a perplexing, quite a puzzling way to end the legacy of probably your best, your most consistent draw since Hulk Hogan. Or I should say since the Attitude Era, even beyond The Undertaker.
Wow. And just like that,
yeah.
I'll say on my end here with him, certainly didn't see it coming. I agree. It basically says, oh, we got Derek got a question as well.
Derek,
go ahead, Derek.
We've been at this for 3 hours, my guy. Sorry that you just caught up to us, man. We want to be out there a little earlier, and
I'll answer. Go ahead, Derek.
All right, man. Go ahead, Derek.
You got us. Yep. Drinking out of my Sharon Moore cup. Uh-oh.
Are we waiting for Derek? Okay, here we go. PPR, start 2. Genty, Q, Judkins, or Woody Marks. All right. If it's going to be cold and snowy, I think that the Browns are going to run Judkins. I mean, we are ground and pound team, if nothing else. That's our historical identity.
Well, you're saying we now.
Because I'm from Cleveland, bro. So it's always going to be we, all right? I don't care if you want to make me a Bengals fan or a Buffalo Bills fan, whatever. I'm from the CLE, so it's Cleveland for me. So we just going to let that be. All right? All right. So now the outlier for me is Woody Marks. Let me see. What does that look like?
So here's some issues when it comes to Judkins. Obviously, no Jack Conklin, no Wyatt Teller, and then they're already missing DeJuan Jones and Ethan as well. So literally Joe Bitonio as well, and then Tevin Jenkins and Zach Sinter are all questionable. So they may literally have the line that backed him up that Shador had against Carolina in the preseason, which was like none of them were on the roster.
All right, because we got to leave. We're going to cut this out, man. Everything you said makes sense. All right, cool. So it's going to be Woody Marks and Ashton Genty. How about that? What do you say?
Well, no. I'm just pointing out that it's a rough go right now.
You ain't lying.
So he's only averaging 3.2 yards per carry over the last 8.
Who?
Obviously, we know he's going to get the bulk of the workload.
Who?
I'm talking about Judkins.
Judkins, okay.
And obviously, there's also a touchdown underdog here. So it's tough to get kind of overly excited about him, at least this particular week.
Woody Marks is playing Arizona at home.
I think he gets 20 touches. I don't know if he turns them into a whole lot. I still think so. He said start too. I still think you play Judkins, and then let's see. There we go. All right. So Woody Marks. Let's see. Well, we talked about the pass rate when it comes to when it came to like Nico Collins, because obviously Arizona's going to be missing a ton of people. And then what Puka did to them, and so Nico Collins should have an incredible game. Woody Marks obviously he's had 17 or more touches in 4 straight. Obviously, they're a huge home favorite. Nick Chubb is hurt, and Dameon Pierce is now in Kansas City. And the Cardinals are 28th against the run defense and 25th against the run and 32nd in tackling.
So Woody Marks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woody Marks.
Yeah.
All right. So
Judkins and Woody Marks. Let's do it.
So you saying Judkins? Because I was going to go with JT and Woody Marks, but nah.
Well, hang on. Yeah, I mean, I'll go look at the Raiders one. Well, against
they're at Philadelphia. So I think I think in the case of that, he's been a bit more.
Pickett is the quarterback. They're a 12.5-point underdog. They're going to key in on the run.
Yeah. So Marks and Judkins. Thanks for the sub. Thanks
Absolutely,
for the sub, Derek.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yep. And at 1:00 a.m. in the morning, thank you all for riding with us. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch.
The only thing in PPR, just to consider for Derek.
So as I end the show, go ahead.
Yeah, 5 targets in the last 5 of 6 games for Ashton Jeanty, but I think Philly really kind of keys in on the position, and he's going to have a rough day. We've seen them abandon the run too, a handful of weeks ago. So
Mark Judkins, for sure.
All right, go ahead, Gully, take us home.
Let's see if we can go home. Cause if another question comes in, I see how you go. We want to make sure we sign every autograph. You know what I mean?
No kid gets left behind.
We shake every hand. We sign every autograph. You know what I mean? See, there we go.
No way. Hendy, Harvey, and Woody available. Who should I start? 2 flex options.
We just talked about it.
So Woody Marks getting 17 carries. Henderson, well, Buffalo against the run is horrible, but more of the production I thought was coming through the air. Let's see. Yeah, well, because of the pass rate. Okay, so let's go with. Perfect. The Bills' inability to stop the run makes it obviously an interesting point. Do they take the air out of the ball? They're giving up 5 yards per carry. That's the 3rd highest, 108 yards per game. They're the league's worst in yards per contact or per attempt.
Who is the Bills?
Yeah. So, and then who was the Broncos are playing
Green Bay,
who's very good against the run.
All right. At home, though.
Yeah, I would still say Hendy and Woody are probably the better two matchup-wise.
For everything that I said here, yeah, because I thought I picked against Harvey earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of what we have here in this roster, in this lineup with this team, I'm staying with Woody, and I'll go. Though I think Buffalo's going to win the game, I'll go with Henderson for the productivity. So I'll say for you, Henny Auto, go with Hendy and Woody.
Yeah, Green Bay ranks 15th in run defense grade, 16th in rush, and number 1 in tackling grade. So Harvey's more volume driven, but this matchup is going to be a tough one because he's been touchdown dependent too.
Okay.
So I'm with you, Gully, on that. And go ahead, take us home.
All right. Well, final thoughts again. Like I say, I don't like the way the Cena match ended, but it doesn't do anything to negate his entire storied career. What it does do is create a big responsibility on WWE, on creative, to ensure that Gunther is in fact the guy that Cena made him to be by losing in the way he did this match. That's the bigger problem that I have. That's the challenge, and I hope that they fulfill it. And it's just not, they don't decide for whatever reason arbitrarily to give up on Gunther. Maybe he is the guy that takes the company into the future. If you are going with whatever you do, maintain your poise and confidence, and do not get too distracted by whatever you're doing that you lose focus. Let that be a cautionary tale to any coach of a college football franchise, especially ones in Michigan and everybody else out there. So, if your morals don't do it, let your poise at least keep your composure. But that's all I got for that, man. Double J, you got anything to say?
No, I completely agree with your point on Gunther. And as far as I want to wish everybody luck in the fantasy playoffs. And of course, we should be back next Saturday delivering some more heat and going through the next round with you guys. So as Barbershop would say,
yeah,
really want to know what's going on.
The next time you want to know what's really going on, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.
Holla.